Good evening and welcome to Northwest Arkansas. We are in the visiting stands tonight as the Bentonville Tigers play host to your Conway Wampus Cats. It's Jeff Matthews and Levi Gilbert and our entire Channel 5 crew, and we're thrilled to be here for what promises to be a really good game. This is a beautiful night in Northwest Arkansas. The sun has finally just gone beyond the press box, so we're not squinting worse than we were a few minutes ago. We want to go to an interview I did yesterday with Coach Ashcraft. The pregame show interview that we do with him, we do on Thursday, and so we talk about a few things, some things we may see different once we get on the field here in a few minutes, but we'll have that for you next as part of the Conway Regional Health System pregame show. Our talk with Coach Ashcraft and kickoff coming up from Bentonville on Conway Corp Channel 5.
Your life is about to change forever, and Conway Regional will be with you every step of the way. We're committed to being the best. That's why our OBGYNs won't deliver anywhere else. Your newborn will benefit from our groundbreaking nursery alliance with Arkansas Children's Hospital. And as you adapt to the new world that's in front of you, know that everyone at Conway Regional is all on the same team. Yours. One team, one promise. Conway Regional.
Hi, and welcome to the Coach Clint Ashcraft Show. I'm Jeff Matthews, joined by Coach Ashcraft. We are at the Conway Regional Health and Fitness Center this week, right before the Bentonville game. Kickoff for that coming up in just a couple of minutes. Coach, before we talk about Bentonville, we got to talk about Jonesboro, and as complete a game as I've seen the Cats play in a while.
Yeah, guys, I think they came out with a little bit of a point to prove, that we were better than we played the week before. And I kind of feel like they all had a chip on their shoulder, so to speak. And, man, they got after it early. We gave them one touchdown early on I guess, a busted coverage, if you will. And then after that, man, our kids played great.
They played a great game. Very few penalties, just the one turnover. No punts in the game. It was, in all efforts, the game was solid.
Well, and that's something that we had talked about from the week before was we need to play cleaner football and eliminate some of those silly mistakes, miscommunications, silly penalties, not being on the field when you're supposed to be, things that that you can prevent. And I feel like that they, heard what we were saying as coaching staff and did that.
Running the two quarterbacks is still working, and Giovanni's coming in and running the ball, kind of strengthening the field. Andrew's throwing a good ball, 10 of 11.
Yeah, and they, I've said it all along, they're each other's biggest fans. They really get along good. They have a good friendship, encourage each other. So when you got guys that are that selfless, which is something we talk about a lot, it really helps your ball club.
I was really happy for Michael George. I know the game a year ago at Jonesboro, it wasn't his fault, but I know he took the weight of on his shoulders of that, but he had a huge game, and I was happy for him.
Yeah, a little redemption for him, proud of him. We talked during the week. We challenged him to 150, and I think he was right at it, so really proud for him.
Defensive side of the ball, they had a couple of huge guys on the offensive line, some guys that may play in the SEC. Kane Aaron had a huge game as well, the rest of the guys on the line.
Yeah, and that's why, on the sidelines, that was some of the chatter, he played really well against the guy that's going committed to the Razorbacks. So I think that ought to give him some confidence that he may not be the biggest, but he is athletic enough to make something happen.
We haven't talked about Jordan Wicks yet, and probably we should have by now. He's perfect on extra points, just missed the one field goal at Springdale and consistently kicking the ball off well. He's got to be pleased with the senior who's joined you.
Yeah, he focused on baseball there for a while and then came last spring and talked to Coach Boucher and myself about coming back out and wanted to kick, and you can just see it every week. His leg gets stronger, and he's getting back to where, he probably should have been the whole time. He's done a great job.
Let's talk about Bentonville now. What do we know about the Tigers? They're always good.
Yeah, well coached, very sound, very good at the fundamentals. They're going to present some problems. They do a lot of different things defensively, very multiple looks, and then offensively, man, you've got to defend both the run and the pass. So it's going to be a chore. They're a good club, but it's a big, good measuring stick before conference starts.
All right, we'll have the kickoff in just a couple of moments here on Conway Corp Channel 5.
Fitness is about so much more than exercise. It's a catalyst for positive change, and it affects every aspect of your life. Conway Regional Health and Fitness Center is your source for comprehensive medical-based health and fitness programs. Dedicated to improving the wellness of those within our community, we offer something for everyone in the family. Conway Regional Health and Fitness Center, over 20 years of health and wellness in our community.
Helton's Wrecker U-Haul has the service you need. Whatever the automotive problem, Helton's has the diagnostics to repair it. If you're moving across town or across country, Helton's is your #1 choice for U-Haul in Conway. We have a wide selection of packing supplies for every aspect of your move. Also, we sell and install hitches. Call 327-4696 for a quote. At Helton's Wrecker U-Haul, we are always on our toes. Give us a call at 327-7681.
And we welcome you back to Bentonville as the Tigers are playing host to your Wampus Cats tonight. Your captains are Cage Carter, number 91. Number 26 is Clay Prince. Number 71 is Eric Branch. And number 11 is Jarrett Hoover, your senior captains for tonight's game against the Bentonville Tigers. Both teams come in 1-1. Both teams lost their opening night game. They both won last week. Bentonville's playing their first game in Northwest Arkansas. Conway's playing their second game in Northwest Arkansas already this year. It's their home opener tonight.
Yeah, both teams had some other similarities last week. I'm sure we'll get into during the broadcast. But, great night for football. Great way to end the non-conference schedule if you're Conway going up against a powerhouse like Bentonville. Although there's some talk that maybe they're not the powerhouse they normally have been the last few years. But my worries tonight, I do still have some worries,
All right,
Jeff.
fair enough.
Special teams. Last week against Bixby, Bentonville returned a kick for 96 yards for a touchdown. They also blocked a punt and recovered it for a touchdown. And our special teams played great last week, but we're going to have to play some really sound coverage tonight. Same thing in pass defense as Bentonville's quarterback, Lyons. Man, he had a game last week.
He did.
Our guy had a game last week. We'll talk about that some more. But this Lyons, 14 of 15. His only incompletion was an interception.
Right.
But he really came on strong in the second half. So our pass defense, which a week ago only gave up one big play, one big pass play the entire game. They're going to have to play sound defense as well. And then number 3 is let's just keep it rolling. Last week was such a great game on really in every aspect of the game. Offense was great. Football was, or the defense was great. Special teams played really good. We didn't even have to punt. But let's just keep that going, and most importantly, let's get out of here with no injuries.
Yep.
As we get ready for our 7A Central play starting next week.
As important as this game is, because it's a Friday night football game, you're right. It really doesn't matter in the whole scheme of what you're trying to do. All of that, which is make the playoffs, win some playoff games, make it to Thanksgiving week, which is the state semifinals, and on into the state finals the first Saturday in December. All of that starts to roll into place beginning with week 4. But tonight it is Conway and it is Bentonville. These teams have played 6 times before. Conway actually won the first time that these two teams played. Bentonville has won 5 in a row. There have been some blowouts in this series, but not last year. It was just 16-7, and it was actually 13-7 late, and the Wampus Cats had a chance to take the lead, unable to get it in, and then a field goal late in the game made the final margin 16-7, as that was the third of that 5-loss start that the Wampus Cats had a year ago.
And Bentonville's had a similar story to start this season as the Wampus Cats have. They haven't really played their best football these last 2 games. They were trailing by I think 21 points in the first half a week ago in Oklahoma. They just really came on in the second half, scored 5 unanswered touchdowns. And it seems like they really got their groove last week. Conway, of course, after a slow and disappointing start at Springdale in week 1, Conway really got its groove last week at home against Jonesboro. So I think we could be primed for a really interesting offensive game this week, considering both teams, neither one of them punted the ball at all last week.
That's really crazy. We were thinking back through the game and we realized we didn't punt, and then looking at their stats, we saw the same thing. So you've got two teams who had very big halves last week that led to big wins last week, two teams that had quarterbacks that just had one incompletion each, and two teams that didn't punt the football at all. Now, Bentonville was really the first of all the Northwest Arkansas schools to really become huge. I don't know if our camera guys can get a shot of their, to their right is their huge indoor field house. And now ours is as big. Conway's has now gotten to be that size. But this huge indoor facility that is just to the north of the field here, they've got smoke, and they're going to come out of this big garage door over there. And if our camera guys can get a shot of that, we'll give you an idea of what we're talking about here. They do quite a show before the games here at Bentonville Tiger Stadium. We are just moments away from those Tigers coming out. Again, it is their home opener. They've played 2 games actually out of state. They played in Kansas City in week 1, and last week played in Bixby, Oklahoma, against a Bixby team that has won 3 consecutive state championships. And so a very, very good program that they went in and had that come from behind victory last week.
We've talked a little bit off air about with some changes to the way that the schedule works in 7A starting as soon as next year, I believe. You might see Conway start to look at some games like that getting out of state, as it looks like we'll have a bye week sometime within the non-conference
first 4
schedule.
weeks, yeah. Well, there you see the Tigers. They're making their way out from that garage door that's on the side of their field house, and
they lost the letter on the flag.
They did. That's not a good start for them. But they're wearing black hats, black shirts, black pants. I think that's gold trim around black letters.
And let's just say, Jeff, theoretically, we may not have the best vision between the two of us. So
agreed.
Calling numbers on these jerseys is going to be a little difficult. Not so hard, though, for the Conway players. The blue on white.
Yeah, appreciate the contrast very much. The outline can be a little challenging. So we'll do the best we can to make sure that you know which Tigers are doing stuff, but we'll surely let you know about the Wampus Cats. They are dressed in their blue helmets and white tops and white bottoms. This is a team that played its most complete game in years a week ago, leading 42-6 at halftime. Unbelievable performance. They scored quickly. They gave up a quick score and then just went on a roll and played great on every area of the game, like you were mentioning a moment ago, Levi. So this should be fun tonight. We have got deep Darnell Washington and Will Kennedy. It's always safe to say Will Kennedy's name when you're talking about anything involving the Wampus Cats, because there's a good chance he's on the field doing something.
Well, and he had some really great punt returns a week ago. Not much in the kick return game. I think they only really received 1 kick return the entire game.
There would have been 2.
Or 2, because the half. But, so not much action in the kick return game last week, but Will Kennedy,
and the scores,
man of many talents.
The scores that Jonesboro had late, there were more kickoffs, but they were squib kicks and onside kicks and whatnot.
Yeah.
So, not the ability to run anything back. Sam Younger will kick off for the Tigers. They open their home season, and the Wampus Cats are getting underway in Northwest Arkansas. Darnell Washington will pick it up at the 5-yard line and look for some help. Gets through the crease. Darnell Washington jumps over the defender and is down at the 43-yard line. He made something out of nothing, Levi.
Yeah, great job there by Washington as he fumbles the kick. It was a line drive straight to him. And had a little trouble bringing it in, but great presence of mind by him to collect himself. And then he just made some moves. The coverage was pretty solid for Bentonville. He just made a few moves and juked a guy out and takes it all the way past the 40.
Here come the starters on offense. L.J. Hansberry is the center. Lance Rogers and Keandre Clay are the guards next to him. Tackles Nathan Turner and Thomas Cloyd. Andrew Rhea, 10 of 11 a week ago, gets the start at quarterback, and he hands off to Michael George. Michael George had a big week last week. 17 carries, 156 yards, and 3 touchdowns against Jonesboro a week ago for Michael George.
You heard Coach mention in the coaches show that they challenged him to get 150, and he got right at that mark. I say challenge him to get 200 this week. Let's just keep challenging him.
Rhea behind center. He sets up in the pistol formation like he does often. He will throw and completes his first pass of the night to Nick Richmond. Nick out there with Will McKenna, and a good Bentonville defense makes a stop. There are 10 of the 11 Tigers on the field are over there making the stop. And it is going to be 3rd down.
Another interesting thing to continue to look at tonight is that 2-quarterback system that Conway's been running in the first 2 weeks. You know, how quickly do we see Giovanni Johnson come in? What do those looks look like against this Bentonville defense?
Joe Thomas, Will McKenna on the field along with Nick Richmond. Chris Anderson in at tight end. Rio will throw on 3rd down. Slings it just short of Will McKenna, and that brings up 4th down. So on the first drive of the night, the Wampus Cats have to do something they didn't do at all a week ago, and that's punt the football away.
Yeah, he had a little bit of space, McKenna did over there on the right on that end pattern, but Rhea just pressured a little bit too early, had to let go of it a little bit too soon, ended up with a short pass.
Will Kennedy will handle the punting duties the first time tonight. He and Garrett Fusilier both punted week 1. Will gets a high punt that'll be bouncing around at the 30-yard line. Picked up and taken to the 23. Cameron Mays Hunt returns the punt. He is a true two-sport athlete. He is a Division I talent at wide receiver and is already committed to play baseball for the University of Arkansas. He is a pitcher that throws in the low 90s, and he will play for Dave Van Horn and the Razorback baseball team just south of where we're sitting right now. Nathan Lyons is the starting quarterback. And he will hand off to Easton Miller. Miller to the 25-yard line of the Wampus Cat defense. A good start. Matt Lloyd. B.J. Jones is getting the start tonight in place of an injured Logan White. Garrett Fusilier and Jackson Freeman, the other linebackers. The Wampus Cats with their hands down are Corlin McKinney, Kane Aaron, and Zach Friedel. Tez Miller gets the start at cornerback. He's on the near side, makes the stop inside the 30. Tez Miller stops Harrison Campbell, their junior receiver, and in 3rd down will be upcoming for the Tigers.
Got a nice glimpse of the closing speed there by Miller. These Bentonville receivers are talented, they're fast. We've got some talented and fast defensive backs as well.
Along with Tez Miller, the other corner is Tyler Banks. And Roman Aaron and Will Kennedy are your safeties. 3rd down and 4 for the Tigers. Lions will throw. Pass is complete. That's Cameron Mays Hunt. He's knocked out of bounds by Tez Miller. It'll be enough to move the chains for a 1st down at the 35-yard line for Jody Grant's Tigers.
Yeah, that's what you get with a talented receiver with like Mays Hunt. He knows exactly how many yards he needs. Run that little hook, and Tez Miller playing a little bit softer than we might have wanted to on that play there.
You mentioned Lyons in the week that he had earlier. You missed that. He was 14 out of 15 a week ago. Our Andrew Rio was 10 of 11. Lyons was 14 out of 15. You can probably count on one hand the number of times you would see a game that features 2 quarterbacks that the week before just missed 2 combined throws. Flag on Bentonville, backs him up 5 yards. It's 1st down and 15. Thank you for watching back in Conway tonight. If you're on Twitter, 5 Sports Live, let us know you're out there. Big run. Easton Miller will pick up the 15 yards that they needed, and actually 2 more. 17-yard gain for Miller. Call it 16 at the 41-yard line, and it is 1st and 10 for the Tigers.
Yeah, Miller showing a little bit of patience there in the backfield. Just takes that little stutter step and finds a hole and gets a big gain there.
In the backfield alone is Lyons. Fires right. Catch is made by Miller. And he's knocked out of bounds. Garrett Fusilier and Tez Miller there together. It's going to be 2nd down.
Talked about the great game that Lions had last week it really didn't come together until the second half. He had 3 passing touchdowns in the second half, had a 33-yard touchdown run in the second quarter. But that second half where they had 5 unanswered touchdowns.
Handoff. Miller with good balance, able to pick up the first down. Lucas Bowman in at quarterback, number 20 in for Nathan Lyons. And it's enough to move the chains for another first down for the Tigers. We see 2 quarterbacks that we play. We saw 2 quarterbacks a week ago from Jonesboro, and now on the first drive of the night, we're seeing Bentonville trot out another quarterback. We've had some great games in this stadium. We've had some very memorable games for the wrong reasons, too. They've handed it to us a few times, but there's been some fun ones. We've seen some great players come through on both sides on this field. Miller again goes to the left. He spun back towards the middle, and a nice job by Zach Friedel. Zach was not going to let him get another down. Another yard there, and he's knocked down at the 36-yard line. Sorry for stumbling over my words there. I was looking to see to make sure I had the right number, but 52's back in the game. That's Jordan Doby. Jordan started in week 1, played well, was out last week entirely, and now good to see him back in early on tonight. Another body that can come through there on that defensive line.
Yeah, we saw big changes on the defensive line last week. I think really it's going to be all about matchups, and might solidify a little bit once we get to conference play.
Bowman hands off. That is Preston Crawford. He's a sophomore running hard past the 25-yard line, and we're going to have some defensive guys step up. These Tigers are running with purpose tonight. 1st and 10 at the 24-yard line.
We talked about that 96-yard punt return or kickoff return that Bentonville had last week in Oklahoma. It was Crawford who had that return.
The sophomore. 1st down and 10. That's Bowman still. He'll just throw the ball a couple of yards to Cameron Mays-Hunt. Mays-Hunt dances around, and Jordan Doby knocks him down hard at the 22-yard line. There's a lot going on there for a 2-yard gain. 2nd down and 8. We are just under 7 minutes to play in the first quarter. No score from Bentonville tonight. Wrapping up the non-conference season in Northwest Arkansas. At home next week against Southside. 7A Central play begins. It's Lucas Bowman. Hands off to Crawford. Slippery. Flag comes in. See if that's going to be coming back. We've got some talented running backs. Preston Crawford, just a sophomore, wearing number 1. Let's see what the call is. It is a hold against the Tigers. So they'll hurt themselves a little bit. Moving the ball at will.
Yeah, these linemen, and give credit to the Bentonville receivers as well. They've been holding blocks out on the edge very well on this first possession, and maybe a little too well in the last
yeah,
play.
that one they did for sure. Back to the 30-yard line is where the football will be placed. And it is 2nd down. Repeat 2nd down, but good chance here for the defense to maybe get a stop and make it 3rd and long. The backup quarterback is still in. That's Lucas Bowman. He will look to throw, and does. Catch is not made through the hands of the intended receiver. Jackson Freeman there in coverage. Nice job. Jackson distracted him just enough for the pass to be incomplete. It is 3rd down and 16. Big opportunity here for the Wampus Cat defense, Levi, to make a stop on 3rd down.
Yeah, and it would be a big win for this defense to, at best here, hold them to a field goal. It's not a sure thing from this distance for Bentonville.
Absolutely not. No, that's a 47-yard field goal attempt if they don't pick up any yardage at all. Bowman will throw, steps up, and delivers. Pass is incomplete off the right hand of Cameron Mays-Hunt. Cole Hoover. Nope, that's Will Kennedy. I can never see if it's a folded up 8 or a folded up 9. Either way, they both kind of get tangled up there. That was Will Kennedy in coverage, and it is 4th down, so they've got a decision to make. And Jody Grant's decision looks like is going to be to go for it on 4th and 16. A little bit of Pulaski Academy in him here. Kevin Kelly, well known for never punting the football away. And they are, looks like they're going to take that here, unless it'll be a quick kick. 4th and 16, 6:23 to play. It is going to be a pass or a run. Quarterback loose. Big hit, still running, backing up, get him, and they drop him at the 40-yard line. Well, that couldn't have worked out much better. Great pursuit by the defense. Jackson Freeman, Garrett Fusilier, Matt Lloyd, Zach Friedel, all of those players coming off the pile there.
Yeah, great job there by those defenders not giving up on the backside, because the play got really far away from them over to their left. They could have easily just kind of hung back a little bit. If he had found a receiver on that backside, might have gone all the way in for 6.
Will McKenna, right on the numbers here to the left, closest to us. Nick Richmond, who's become Andrew Ria's favorite target, set up to the right in man-to-man coverage. Handoff to Michael George. Michael George on his feet to midfield. He's brought down. It'll be enough to move the chains for a Conway Regional Health System first down.
You've seen this defense and offense, especially last week, really feed off of each other's performance. So defense there getting a big stop on 4th and long, and Conway with a chance now to come out and march the ball down the field.
Stay on the ground to Michael George. He runs over the defender and picks up 3 yards. Taking the brunt of that was Andrew Bartkus. 2nd down and 7. Chris Patterson's in the game, number 40. Oh, by the way, he tweeted at me and let me know what he was making with the brown sugar. I'll tell you. I'll tell you in a little bit.
That's great.
We got the answer.
Great.
I told him whatever it was, he needed to make it again this week.
I'm intrigued.
It
I want to
worked.
know now.
Ria, pump fake and
Oh,
throws.
hold.
There comes the flags. He had 2 officials that were like they were both trying to find the flag in their back pocket. Pass was intended for Will McKenna, but he never had a chance to get there to it because he was held up.
The official over here on the left in the backfield, he chunked that flag.
He threw it about 15 yards, yeah. Very impressive.
I think he must have been a quarterback in his high school days.
We are broadcasting tonight's game from the visiting stands, has become our tradition. I kind of like it.
And let me tell you, tonight, probably some of the best smells that I've had in the visiting stands. I mean, they are cooking something up over here.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. But also we understand that the air is not working in the press box. And so it's a beautiful night in the stands, so I'm not complaining.
Feels great.
But I say all that to say when the officials make the calls, they're looking the other way. But that was my whole purpose in that.
But we can hear them, so that's helpful.
That is true. That is true. All right. 1st and 10 following the penalty. Richmond, far right. McKenna, near side. On the ground, Michael George. Michael George kicks it out and finds a hole. Gets inside the 25-yard line where he is brought down in the secondary. Move the chains once again. Michael George running well.
George doing what George does tonight here early in the first quarter.
It is going to be a pass or a run. Quarterback replay of a couple of plays back. It was the start of the replay of a couple of plays back on the big defensive play that ended their drive for Bentonville and put Conway with the football, and they are moving it right now.
Yeah, early here, George with 4 carries and 29 yards.
He came into the game with 218 on the season. And we're going to have to use a timeout, it looks like. And there will be one taken. Let's take one on as well. 4:38 to play in the first quarter. 30 seconds, and we're back on Conway Corp Channel 5. Team still in a timeout on the field. 4:38, there is no score. Conway moving the football well. Michael George doing a great job running the football as he did a week ago and has picked right back up doing that again tonight.
Yeah, 4 carries for 29 yards so far for George, and we joked about it in the right before the game started that, Coach, they gave him a challenge last week to get to 150. I say just keep increasing it,
right?
Incrementally, maybe 175 this week, and then 200 when we host Southside next week.
I tell you, he has just gotten stronger and stronger in the offseason, and he's working hard during the season. And most of his runs, he's such a strong runner, they come between the tackles. He is not kicking it out very often. It's mainly between Nathan Turner to the left and Thomas Cloyd to the right, just like that one was. That was between Nathan Turner and Lance Rogers on the left-hand side of the line. 2nd down and 5.
Yeah, he had so much success last week. Like you said, running between those tackles, and you saw guards on both sides pulling frequently.
Yep.
I bet they were having fun. There's nothing more fun for a guard and a tackle than to pull, because you're about to see somebody that's not expecting you.
And most likely a running back is going to run right behind you and hopefully get into some open field. Rhea under center, the toss to George. And Bentonville snuffed that out pretty quickly. Tackle made by Colin Sneesky. 3 minutes and 45 seconds to play in the first quarter. No score from Bentonville tonight. We are live on Conway Corp Channel 5, 585 in HD. Online at conwaycorp.com/WC to go. Week 3 of the high school football season. Andrew Rhea looking for Nick Richmond and got him. Richmond tripped up. Touchdown. 18-yard pass from Andrew Rhea to Nick Richmond. Nick is in the end zone for the 3rd time this season, and the Cats take the lead.
What a great job there by Richmond, running that curl out on the right side, but having the presence of mind and the ability to just turn on a dime back into.
Week 3 of the high school football season. Andrew Rhea looking for Nick Richmond and got him. Richmond to attempt the extra point. Flags come in. We said it earlier, Richmond has become Rhea's favorite target, and rightfully so. He is catching everything thrown to him.
Yeah, the numbers don't lie. We pull up our season stats so far on the year. You look at Richmond, he's leading the way with 14 receptions, 186 yards, and 2 scores.
He's got a 3rd one now as he gets into the end zone from 14 yards out. Reed Hughes will snap. Nick McEwen will hold. Jordan Wicks will kick. And the Wampus Cats are on top, 7-0. We'll take 30 seconds and come back on Conway Corp Channel 5.
There's a lot to love about the natural state. We should know. Arkansas has been our home since 1932. Since then, First Security has added locations, services, and solutions. And we're still growing. Not outside of the state, but deeper in. We invest in our home, your home, communities, families, and Arkansas businesses. Like you, we're proud of our home state. And we're proud to be only in Arkansas. First Security, only in Arkansas.
The Wampus Cats strike first, 7-0. It was a good defensive stand. And that defensive stand, Levi, that came as the result of a penalty against the Tigers. It was a holding penalty that forced them to go back, go for it on 2nd and long. They didn't get it. Go for it on 3rd and long. Didn't get it. Had a decision to make on 4th down. Scrambling around by the backup quarterback Bowman. Stopped at the 40-yard line. Cats take over on downs, and they were able to march down the field.
Yeah, just a great job on both sides, right? Defense taking care of their business, and then the offense, like you said, just systematically marching it down the field. A lot of Michael George, but then got the passing game going when we needed it.
And taking advantage of some penalties against the Tigers as well. So it was a good start. The 2nd possession of the night for the Wampus Cats, a good start. First time ended with the first punt in a couple of weeks. The official hands the ball to Jordan Wicks. Jordan, as you heard Coach Ashcraft talk about during the pregame show, decided to come back out for football this year for his senior year. He's a great baseball player. He's going to play at Kansas State. Throws left-handed. Bats left, plays some first base, kicks left, and he's done a great job this season for the Wampus Cats. That's Loudermilk, and he is stopped and taken down by Malik Benton. Great job on special teams by Benton.
Yeah, what a tackle there as he just gets his arms wrapped around him and drives him through to the ground, and just continued good coverage on special teams. We saw it last week, you know, whether it was the kickoff. Well, we didn't see it on the punts, but there were no punts. But, man, last week, I just can't get over last week because it truly was good to great performances in all three areas of the game.
Talked about the different bodies that we're seeing on the defensive line. See another new body out there now. It's Terrell Grimes. He had a sack a week ago, and he's playing nose guard. Passes low to Cameron Mays-Hunt. He does a nice job with the catch out of bounds at the 25-yard line. And it's second down as we approach the 3-minute mark in the first quarter from Bentonville tonight. The Wampus Cats on top 7-0 over Beeville, as it says there on your screen. The Bentonville Tigers.
So what I was going to say coming out of that change of possession, I'm glad that you talked about Wicks with Coach.
Oh,
I mean,
yes.
You know,
he deserves it.
The linemen, you know, they usually get overshadowed, but the kicker kind of does too. You don't talk about the kicker usually unless it's a not so great thing.
Right. Handoff, nowhere to go for the Tigers. Whole host of Wampus Cats are there. Garrett Fusilier coming off the pile. Kane Aaron is there. Will Kennedy steps up from the safety spot. It is third down.
And senior Blake Walter out there tonight as well, as he's filling up some holes there. There's nowhere to go for this Bentonville offense.
Yeah, there's some depth on this team that I don't know that any of us knew going into the season, but just not even three games in, we're 2 games and a quarter in, you're really seeing too deep that this Wampus Cat team can go without a lot of letdown.
Yeah, the biggest challenge was on the defensive line. At least that was kind of the perceived challenge as we came into the season. Really hasn't been too much of a challenge, though, so far.
Timeout on the field. Bentonville wants to talk about it. We'll take 30 seconds and come back on Conway Corp Channel 5.
Your life is about to change forever, and Conway Regional will be with you every step of the way. We're committed to being the best. That's why our OBGYNs won't deliver anywhere else. Your newborn will benefit from our groundbreaking nursery alliance with Arkansas Children's Hospital. And as you adapt to the new world that's in front of you, know that everyone at Conway Regional is all on the same team. Yours. One team, one promise. Conway Regional.
Just a little over 2 minutes to play in the first quarter. It is 7-0. Talked about Jordan Wicks. You know, Barry Luters is a longtime assistant baseball coach for the Wampus Cats. Noel Boucher's the head coach.
Right.
Well, Luters also travels with the football team and is an assistant coach in football. Well, who do you
there
think
we
Jordan
go.
Wicks is talking to on the sidelines right now? Of course, I think they're probably talking football, but they could just as easily be talking pennant races as we get down to the end of the Major League Baseball season, too. Third down and 3. It'll be a run, design run by Bowman. He gets tripped up by Tez Miller, but he's going to be close to a first down.
Miller trips up his legs, and then Matt Lloyd comes in and performs the finishing move.
They're going to give him the first down just by the
and you know,
nose of the football.
We keep saying
Bowman,
run, but I did read a story
Bowman.
last
He
week
gets tripped.
about Lions wearing number 20 a week ago
Nathan
in Oklahoma.
Lyons, their starting quarterback.
Yes, in honor of a player that had been injured, which might be Bowman. Not 100%. So it might actually be Lyons that's out there right now.
Could he change numbers once a game starts?
Well, you know, we saw, what was it, a year ago? We saw Jack Pillow change numbers in the middle of the game.
But he also changed positions.
True.
We'll have to listen.
It's confusing.
Maybe we can have Stats, who doesn't wear any headphones, if he can listen to see what the public address announcer says, if that is Bowman or if that's Lyons. 2 minutes to play in the first quarter. Cats up 7-0. Ball at the 33-yard line. If you're watching back home tonight, thank you for watching in Conway. Tweet at us, 5 Sports Live. Find us on Facebook. Let us know that you're out there. We do appreciate you watching. These Friday night road games have been a lot of fun for us as more and more people are finding the games and watching them and letting us know about it. Easton Miller on the carry. Roman Aaron comes in and makes the stop. He has played very, very well. And it's enough for a first down, so you can move the chains for the Bentonville Tigers.
Yeah, their PA guy has an interesting first down call. I don't know how I feel about that.
I will not do that tomorrow during the UCA game.
You're a little more subdued.
A little. I mean, I get excited, but I don't growl. And if that works, then that's great for them. Pass is complete to their tight end. That is number 47, Tyler Johnson. Johnson makes the snag of the high pass, and it's going to be enough for a first down. 1st and 10 for the Tigers, and they're moving fast.
There's been one weak spot in this defense. It's been that type of play here in the first 3 weeks, that little tight end dump down the hash.
Miller with a nice run, running downhill close to the first down marker again. It's going to be 2nd down at the 40. Corlin McKinney comes in. Terrell Grimes will check out. Coach Ashcraft, I think, wants to talk it over here. He is wanting to slow this Tiger offense down, and he will do just that. minute 13 to play in the first quarter. It's 7-0. The Wampus Cats are up. Let's take 30 seconds and come back on Conway Corp Channel 5.
I'm Brad Teague, Athletic Director at the University of Central Arkansas. I'm here with Bruce, Sugar, and Carson Prince, spokeskid for the United Way of Central Arkansas. And we want to invite you out on Saturday, September 16th, to the football practice field at UCA from 2 to 6 p.m. to celebrate the 60th birthday party of the United Way. After the party, come on over to the football field for our 7 p.m. kickoff with Southeastern Louisiana.
This is your United Way. Come out and celebrate with us.
Minute 13 to play in the first quarter. It's 7-0. The Wampus Cats had the lead, and I think a good time out there by Clint Ashcraft.
Yeah, I mean, clock management is always one of those underrated sciences until it becomes important at the end of the halves. And although that was Conway's second timeout, you'd like to keep as many as you can going into the second quarter. But no, I'd have to agree with you, Jeff. I think that was a good timeout because Bentonville is really getting into that rhythm. If you don't stop them, they can put up 5 touchdowns unanswered.
Well, right. Ask Bigsby, Oklahoma. That happened a week ago. And they were moving the ball like they did that first drive. Busted play there. And a big tackle made. Going to be real close to the first down. Jordan Doby comes in and makes the stop. 5'11", 223-pound senior. The public address announcer calling him Lance Rogers. That's 52 on the offensive side. That is Jordan Doby making the stop.
It's got to be hard to be a PA when you have these 7A schools that have so many kids dressed out. Even Conway was, traveling this week. A lot of white and blue jerseys on the sidelines.
Bowman looking to throw. He'll sling it. Knocked away at the last second by Tez Miller. Tez Miller getting the start tonight, and he's played well against a really talented receiver in Cameron Mays Hunt. 2nd down and 10.
Yeah, that is not an easy assignment for anyone all year long going up against Mays Hunt.
When Bowman was on his back leg, leaning back and trying to get that pass in to Mays Hunt and just unable to. Handoff to Miller. You got to use both arms to bring down Easton Miller. Nice run out to the 25-yard line. Tyler Banks makes the stop.
They've got some shifty running backs. It's almost like they're just gliding.
A quick glance of their sideline, and I don't see number 5. I do see some Wampus Cat defenders bringing down Easton Miller in the backfield. It'll be 2nd down.
Just given the story I read this week about Lions wearing 20 in honor of an injured player on their team, and, this kind of seems like that's what's happened here again.
This is one of those times where if Brooks Smith is watching, I know that he can be able to help us with that. The official that watches our games from back in Conway and sometimes sends us messages to let us know that That is okay to do. Like you said, we saw it a year ago when Jack Pillow wore a different number for us, but he also had a position change in the midst of that. All right, we played 1 quarter, 2nd down and 11. When we come back, let's take 60 seconds, and we're back in Bentonville on Conway Corp Channel 5.
Looking to make your truck stand out from the rest? U.S. Truck offers a variety of accessories to fit your needs. Tonneau covers, camper shells, toolboxes, bed liners, Nerf bars and running boards, trailer hitches, lift kits, and much, much more. We offer top quality products at a fair price with installation available. Oh, and ask about our military and senior discounts. U.S. Truck Accessories, 1335 East Oak Street in Conway. Work hard, play hard.
We played 1 quarter, and Conway is on top 7-0.
Michael George doing his thing, doing what Michael George does in the first quarter. 6 carries, 35 yards. Rhea, 2 of 3 for 19 yards and a touchdown. That touchdown, of course, a connection with Nick Richmond, who's had 2 catches, the only 2 catches for Conway receivers tonight.
Big drop. Zach Friedel steps up and drops. We're going to call him Lyons till somebody tells us otherwise.
Yeah.
Drops Nathan Lyons, a loss on the play. It is 3rd down and long. A huge play by the senior Friedel.
Well, I'll tell you, I know Friedel doesn't care who he is.
Absolutely not.
He just wants to hit somebody.
Look at that. Just pushing people around. Zach Friedel playing with a vengeance tonight. This is a great Conway story. You know, Conway's small enough that you sometimes see these kids, right? So today I'm driving back from dropping my daughter off at volleyball practice, and I saw Zach driving to school, and he had a look this morning at 6:30 that looked like he was ready to hit somebody then. Or I guess it was actually a little after 7. But he looked like he was ready to do it right then. I love it. Now 12 hours later, 100 and some odd miles from home.
He looked a little crazy. Is that what you're
I mean,
implying?
it was a focused driving.
Focus. Oh,
Zach Friedel.
okay, that's what we're saying. Focus.
Yes.
Okay.
Penalty against the Tigers. Back them up a little bit more. It is 3rd down and almost 20 for the Tigers.
Well, this Conway defense coming into this game had gotten 3 sacks against opposing quarterbacks. They've already got 2 here tonight.
Movement on the line. Give them 5 more yards to deal with. That's Johnson who's called for it. It's going to be 3rd down and 24. It's the same thing that happened to the Tigers their first drive. They were moving the football, and then 1 penalty backed them up, and they never recovered. Now there's been a couple following that big sack by Zach Friedel. The Zach sack. Hashtag.
I like
Zach
it.
sack.
I like it.
All right, 3rd down and 24. Lions, Kane Aaron trying to track him down. The big man taking steps trying to get there, and he can't. Lions will drop him, or Lions will be dropped rather at the 24-yard line. Jackson Freeman is the one that steps up and makes the stop at the 24. He'll be short of the 1st down. 4th down and 8 upcoming. He was able to get a lot of it back, and Kane Aaron was taking those big steps trying to catch him, just couldn't catch up to Lions.
Yeah, another big decision here for Bentonville is they don't want to settle for field goals here in the first half.
They're going to go for it, 4th down and 7. What does the Wampus Cat defense have in them? Little swing back pass. It'll be stopped. Darnell Washington there on the stop for the Cats defense, and they come up huge. Jackson Freeman comes off the field. He's making a lot of noise, telling his offense, all right, fellas, your turn. Go out there. Great defensive series for the Wampus Cats, especially when it mattered most.
Yeah, it wasn't just him. Freeman, Walter, Friedel, they were all they sniffed that play out.
So 2 drives for the Tigers, both have ended on downs. The Wampus Cats had to punt the first time they had it. Scored the second time, their 3rd offensive possession right now, just under 10 minutes to play in the first half. Live in Bentonville tonight, Wampus Cats to go. And the handoff. Michael George Crosses the 25, brought down at the 27. Sibley in on the tackle. This offensive line doing a good job. L.J. Hansberry, Lance Rogers, Keandre Clay. Your tackles are Thomas Cloyd and Nathan Turner. Chris Anderson and Chris Patterson both in the game right now. 2 tight end set. Rhea. Quick pass just beyond the hands of Will McKenna, and the Cats are facing 3rd down.
One of the best defenses tonight for Conway, although their defense is playing great.
Yeah.
But is to have long, sustained drives. You know, don't give Bentonville too many opportunities to put points on the board because they can put them up in a hurry.
3rd down and 7 for the Cats. 9:24 to play in the first half. Andrew Rhea has gone the whole way at quarterback tonight. He will look to throw. Good protection. Pass is incomplete. Joe Thomas was tripped up as the pass was sailing in, but it did look like the pass was maybe a little bit high. I think that's what they're going to claim, is that the pass was unable to be caught. No flag is thrown. Shades of 2 weeks ago when there were quite a few calls that went against the Wampus Cats.
Well, Coach Ashcraft was arms held high,
he was looking
for some explanation.
Yeah, I don't know that he got it. He's sending his punting unit out. Will Kennedy punted the first time, and he'll punt the second time. 9:18 to play in the first half. End over end punt taken at the 39-yard line by Cameron Mays Hunt. And it will be 1st and 10 for the Bentonville Tigers. Bentonville 2 years ago split. Bentonville West played their first year of football a year ago, the Wolverines. And they're playing again this year, and they're actually ranked higher than Bentonville in most of the state polls. And this is the first year that the Bentonville Tigers are seeing their numbers just change just a little bit. It's slight, but you're still seeing a little bit of a change.
Are we seeing a Harbor Springdale High type of scenario here, you think?
I don't know. I mean, Harbor is the #1 team in the state. They've won some state titles. Springdale is now finally, years later, trying to come back and become relevant. They've won 2 in a row, including the first week win over us.
Well, it's funny. We walked in and, you know, Bentonville has this very visible display that shows all of their championships. And I said, wow, it's been 3 years since they've won one. What's wrong? What's happened?
Will Kennedy makes the makes the stop on Harrison, who makes the catch. Ball at the 41-yard line. It's 1st and 10 for the Tigers.
Now, the Tigers have gobbled up a lot of yards here in the first half, but these penalties have haunted them.
High snap. Lions will throw. Catch is made. Nice throw and catch out to Cameron Mays Hunt. And he's out of bounds at the 18-yard line. It's 1st and 10.
Yeah, not much you can do if you're Conway. The Conway defense on that play is Lions just throws a perfect ball, and Mays Hunt just right in stride.
Again, he's going to play baseball at the University of Arkansas. He'll get some Division I football looks too, but he has made the decision to play college baseball. Another penalty against the Tigers after they've got some momentum. Playing pretty undisciplined football for a Bentonville squad. Jody Grant's been here just a couple of years. He is 21-6 in his time at Bentonville. An unbelievable record.
Crazy number.
The only time he's been a head coach has been at Bentonville.
Well, and part of the theme I had early in the pregame about keeping it rolling for Conway was around penalties too. You know, like they played a really clean game last week. Let's keep that up. And Bentonville, they've struggled in the penalty department.
Out to Miller. He is into the end zone without being touched.
And that's the challenge Conway's going to have tonight, is they're going to have to be able to sustain drives and finish drives as well.
That's
because,
right.
I mean, it doesn't matter if they're having a slightly down year or not. Bentonville, that offense can always put up bunches of points.
That's right. Now, there's still a tremendous amount of talent. And there's some. We were down on the field before the game shooting a pregame show that we put on Facebook every week, and had a chance to see some of those guys up close, and they're grown men. They're high school guys, but they look like grown men. Younger to kick. Line drive kick. That is good, and we are tied at 7. 8:57 to play in the first half. All knotted at 7 in Bentonville. We'll take 30 seconds and come back on Conway Corp Channel 5.
Fitness is about so much more than exercise. It's a catalyst for positive change, and it affects every aspect of your life. Conway Regional Health and Fitness Center is your source for comprehensive medical-based health and fitness programs. Dedicated to improving the wellness of those within our community, we offer something for everyone in the family. Conway Regional Health and Fitness Center, over 20 years of health and wellness in our community.
As you can see on the far side of your screen, it says BHS and a tiger. For those of you who were worried about the B flag earlier during the pregame little march that they did, it got trampled.
Yeah, I mean, hey, look, your home opener,
Yeah.
everyone's got a
Things are
little
gonna
jitters.
happen. Sure.
We get it, when we're
Been there.
announcing. And I'm sure the flag guy, the B flag guy, he just had a moment coming out.
Just under 9 minutes to play in the first half. It is the end of the non-conference season tonight. Cats at home next week against Fort Smith Southside. Then a short road trip. We play at North Little Rock 2 weeks from tonight.
Be my first trip to that stadium.
Me too.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, me too. Kickoff will be taken at the 10-yard line. Brennan Clark give the Wampus Cats some good field position to the 28, 1st and 10 for the Wampus Cats. So far, we've seen Andrew Rhea go the whole way. No Giovanni Johnson so far.
It's like we're reading each other's minds, Jeff. I was just thinking the same thing. We have not seen Giovanni Johnson tonight, and I'm not sure I would take that as any indication of, a change in the two-quarterback system, but it's just kind of the way the offense has flowed here in the first half.
So the Cats get the football for the 4th time tonight. Brennan Clark will get the handoff. Good yardage out to the 31. Clark.
I was going to say, Clark definitely gives this offense a little change of pace.
He runs differently. He's a little smaller, and he runs lower. He runs just as hard as Michael George, but it's a different type of back. And we've seen, as I've done 17 years worth of this, you've done a few years worth of this and been around the Wampus Cat program for a while. We've never just seen them with a one-back system.
Right.
There's always been, even the Peyton Hillis days, there was still Kevin Wardlow. I mean, you still had somebody else that was back there also. Rhea throws. I tell you, Nick Richmond is becoming my favorite football player.
Beautiful catch.
He is so fun to watch. That was a great catch. Pass was up. He pulled it in, picked up a few yards. It is 3rd down.
He's got some silky smooth hands.
He does. And, Coach Ashcraft mentioned that he's actually a two-sport athlete to play some basketball too. So if that's the case, looking forward to seeing him out there. So many of these coaches encouraging players to play more than one sport. It's good for them. It's good to learn different skills and to play different sports, work different muscles. And, for an athlete, it benefits them in everything that they do. 3rd down and 2. Clark. Woo, good move. Right at the line to gain, pushes back the defensive player and picks up the 1st down.
You talk about multi-sport athletes. I think, as someone who came in to Conway and started covering local sports in the city around the, right at the close of the Kenny Smith era, it was just a different style of that program, the option offense, and I'm just glad to see that over time we've gotten more and more athletes coming out to get excited about the style of play that Coach Ashcraft brought to this school.
Rhea throwing for Will Kennedy. Just a step too far. He's 2nd down and 10. Great route run by Kennedy. I think Rhea's eyes got big too because he saw he had a step. Kennedy definitely had a step. Was trying to get to it. 2nd down and 10.
I think I need to do some conditioning drills with Will Kennedy.
Telling you, that kid.
I need someone to get me in shape.
Every Friday night, he must sleep so good. Every Friday night. 7:47 to play. That play was busted from the start, and it's 3rd down and long. Riley Martin in to make the stop for the Tigers of Bentonville.
Really the first time that I can recall early here in the season that we've seen a just obviously busted play like that on offense.
Quarterback turning one way and running back going the other. Chris Anderson out, Will Kennedy in. Looks like the Cats will go with 4 wideouts here. McKenna and Kennedy to the top. Thomas and Richmond to the near side. Brennan Clark sets up right next to Andrew Rhea. Swing pass. Out to Brennan Clark. Clark will get the first down. How about that little screen pass to Brennan Clark? Rhea took a huge hit. Was knocked down but completed the screen pass, and then all Brennan Clark.
That's a great area to get Clark the ball out there on a screen pass like that. Great design play for him because he can use that size to his advantage. I mean, you saw him running right behind those offensive linemen that were out there, and Bentonville couldn't see him.
1st down and 10. Back on the ground, Brennan Clark to the left side. They saw him that time, unfortunately. Brought him down pretty quickly. It's 2nd down. Siegley on the stop. It's 2nd and 11. Actually, they'll call it a loss of 2 on the play. 2nd down and 12.
Looks like Clark a little shaken up on that last play. Comes off the field.
So Michael George back in. 6.5 minutes to play in the first half from Bentonville. Thank you for watching live tonight. Wampus Cats to go. Rhea swings it back to Chris Anderson. He's got room. Anderson across the 40, across the 30. Anderson takes a big hit at the 20. Move the chains for the Wampus Cats. It's a Conway Regional Health System 1st down. Great call by Brian Rainey.
Yeah, and you're seeing this offense, this Conway offense, just kind of bloom a little bit tonight because we haven't seen really any of these screenplays in the first 2 games that I can recall. And so far tonight, they've worked to great success, especially over there on that left side of the field.
So Chris Anderson out of the game, and in comes Chris Patterson and Nick Tufu. Tufu caught a touchdown pass in week 1 in Northwest Arkansas. On the ground, Michael George. George, good hard run inside the 15-yard line. It is 2nd down.
Given Conway's position over on the left hash, kind of feel like maybe we'll see that under center play action to the right, maybe try and find Tufu or the H-back, whoever the H-back is in the game right now.
Where they bring Rhea up under center instead of, yes. They're going to be in the pistol here, 2nd down and 3. On the ground, Michael George. He will kick it outside. Inside the 10, down at the 5-yard line. 1st and goal, Wampus Cats.
Of course, when you're running like that, you don't really need to play action.
Trickeryation is, that's what they call it, is trickeryation.
Trickeryation? I like it.
Yep. You got the Zack Sack tonight.
Zack Sack.
Trickeryation. 1st and goal for the Wampus Cats. Well, the Cats have played good football the last game and a half.
It's been, I mean, after that Springdale game, it's been
And that was a
so
game
nice.
that was winnable.
Oh, it definitely was winnable, but it was not a game where they played very well.
That is true. Yeah, those are 2 different things. Play clock down to 5. Got to hurry. Down to 3. Direct snap. Nope, they're going to call a timeout. Good timeout. Less than 5 minutes to play. They had 1 more to use, and the Wampus Cats will use it right now. 30 seconds, and we're back. 1st and goal for the Cats on Conway Corp Channel 5.
My husband and I are clients of Mr. Jim Counts at Legacy Fencing. He presented us with several options in design, materials, and pricing, and we chose the option that was best for our budget and our project. Very rarely do quality, affordability, durability, service, and beauty come in one package, but that's just what we got at Legacy Fencing.
Legacy Fencing, it's fencing for a lifetime.
Welcome back to Bentonville. It is 7-7 with our score tied, and I put the call out to Brooks Smith.
He
had a question.
He always answers.
He wasn't even near the TV. He apologized. He said, "I heard you had a question." Sorry, I was away from the TV for a bit. His response is, I don't think there's anything wrong with the player changing a jersey during the game as long as he's eligible by number. If he's eligible receiver and there's not two of the same number at the same time out there. And so he can wear number 20 as long as there's not two number 20s. So that is the case. So officially Nathan Lyons changing from number 5 to number 20 and wearing that as a quarterback tonight. On 1st and goal there, not a lot happened. Giovanni Johnson about to come in the game for the first time. 2nd down and goal from the 4-yard line.
Giovanni is kind of perfect in this scenario because you don't know, is he going to hand it off? Is he going to run the designed, delayed run himself?
He's got Will McKenna to the right, 2 receivers to the left, Joe Thomas and Nick Richmond. It will be a run, and it'll be a touchdown for Giovanni Johnson. The Wampus Cats retake the lead.
Yeah, really great design run here for this Conway offense, and Johnson just, he plays with so much more instinct and experience than you would expect from a junior because he reads that play perfectly and makes that cut to the left at just the right time and essentially walks in untouched.
Jordan Wicks on to attempt the extra point. Reed Hughes will snap the ball. Nick McEwen sets it down. And for the 11th time this year, Jordan Wicks good with the extra point. 4:21 to play in the first half, and the Wampus Cats lead 14-7 over Bentonville. 30 seconds, and we're back on Conway Corp Channel 5.
Steve's Auto Center is Central Arkansas's most reliable auto repair and recovery company. Our state-of-the-art facility in Conway is your one-stop shop for everything automotive. With over 80 years combined experience, our certified technicians are known for expert workmanship and attention to every detail. We also provide the area's very best towing and recovery services. We take great pride in our work, and your satisfaction is 100% guaranteed.
Come to Steve's Auto Center for all your automotive needs.
Wampus Cats are on top, 14-7. Friday night, we are live. We made the trip for you. If you're back in Conway, watching on Channel 5 or 585 on Conway Corp Cable, or watching online at conwaycorp.com/WC to go, we're glad to do it. Glad to make the trip up here. It's been a good night so far. We know some folks back home are watching.
Yeah, several folks reached out on social media, both on Facebook and Twitter. Jeannie Odom watching from Cabot. Ooh, enemy territory.
Well, but
that's
Mark Odom's mom.
I know. I'm just saying, I feel for her.
She could be anywhere.
She's in the heart of the enemy out in Cabot. Tammy Solberg watching from home. Go Cats. And Kimberly Rapp watching. Hey, this is a big compliment for us. Her favorite Friday night show.
Really?
Hashtag WC2GO.
2GO. Kickoff taken at the goal line and brought out just past the 25-yard line. It's 1st and 10 for the Bentonville Tigers. Now, we talked about Cole Hoover made the stop. Finally got that right. Sometimes you have the number 8 and you have the number 9. I think I've called Will Kennedy Cole Hoover and vice versa a number of times.
Well, you mentioned it's that fold in the jersey right at the middle. It's hard to tell sometimes.
We talked about these Bentonville Tigers. They are ranked in the top 10 overall by Max Preps and by Fearless Friday. Hootens has them number 5 in the 7A. Hootens has Conway number 10, and ranked outside the top 10 so far for the Wampus Cats. But, boy, if they could come on the road and get a win here tonight, that would change a lot of that. Lyons looking to throw, rolls right. We've rushed out of bounds. Matt Lloyd over there. Lloyd, boy, he's played a great. We talked about Jordan Wicks coming in from the baseball team, but Matt Lloyd's the same deal, coming in and playing fantastic football for these Wampus Cats on defense.
Yeah, Matt is, man, he's just been kind of playing out of his mind here in non-conference. He just seems to be running around everywhere. I mean, every time you see the ball, it seems like he's right there with it.
Lions will hand off. That's Miller. Well, they're strong runners down to the 30-yard line. It is 3rd down. Man, Zach Friedel.
What a stop this would be for Conway if they could get a stop here, 3 and out.
Corlin McKinney off. Terrell Grimes on. Matt Lloyd also off. It is 3rd down. Clock running, 3:43. 3rd down and 5. Lions. He's got 2 wide receivers to the left and sends his running back that direction. It's a run. Loose ball. Fumble. Picked up by the Wampus Cats. That guy, of course, Will Kennedy's going to come out of there with it. fumble, turnover, 3.5 minutes to play in the first half, and the Wampus Cats had the football in Bentonville territory.
Man, oh man, this defense, they have grown so much since week 1 at Springdale. And they've been making plays. That's what's so exciting about this defense is here in non-conference, they've come out of the gate forcing turnovers. I think we're like +4 or 5 now in the turnover margin as a team, and that was an area that Conway really struggled in the first half of the season last year. So it's just been such a pleasant sight to see them flip that around.
3rd and 5, a designed run by Nathan Lyons, and he loses it. Will Kennedy comes out of there with it, and it's 1st and 10 for the Cats. They're going to look for it deep. Rhea looking for Nick Richmond. Touchdown, Wampus Cats! 39-yard strike from Andrew Rhea to Nick Richmond, and the Cats are on top of Bentonville 20-7.
And this is another thing Conway had struggled with last year is being able to come out and get these big plays. And Nick Richmond, he's just kind of done it all here in non-conference. Been a great possession receiver, but has also given the Wampus Cats some speed at the position, and Rhea hits him on a rope.
Perfect throw and catch. Nick Richmond into the end zone for the 2nd time tonight, the 4th time this season. Jordan Wicks tacks on the extra point. Your Wampus Cats are on the road, leading Bentonville 21-7 with 3:24 to play in the first half. 30 seconds, and we're back on Conway Corp Channel 5.
Since 1902, Odd Insurance has been protecting what's important to you, featuring Auto Owners Insurance. Auto Owners is ranked among the Fortune 500 14 years in a row.
We were victims of the tornadoes of both 2011 and 2014. Our Odd Insurance agents worked really hard to make sure we were fully compensated for our losses.
You ought to call us today. That's Odd Insurance in downtown Conway.
3 minutes and 24 seconds to play in the first half, and the Wampus Cats have come on the road to Northwest Arkansas and lead 21-7 over the Bentonville Tigers.
Yeah, Nick Richmond has had quite the game here in the first half already. Is he coming into the game had 14 receptions. The next closest Wampus Cat had 7, but tonight already 4 receptions for Nick Richmond, 63 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Jordan Wicks off the face mask of Preston Crawford. He gathers it up, and a nice return. Matt Lloyd, Ricky Fuller on the stop. And it's 1st and 10 for the Tigers, 3:18 to go.
That's always a dangerous place to be on the kickoff coverage when you know that the receiving team has made a little bit of a mistake there. And it's easy to get a little overzealous and lose your coverage, especially if you're on the far side of the field. And this Conway defense and special teams doing what they've done all non-conference, is playing sound coverage and sound football.
Lions will hand off to Miller. Well, he's good. Out to the 45-yard line.
I said it before, but it's like he's just kind of like skating.
Yeah, it's like speed skating.
Glides around so smooth. Makes me jealous.
It's Easton Miller that Levi's enjoying the work of.
I've never done.
I don't know how to say that.
I've never done anything as smoothly as that guy runs the ball.
Under 3 minutes to play in the first half. Lions will throw. Pump fake and throws. Complete. Tyler Johnson makes the catch. That'll be good to move the chains for a first down. Kennedy on the stop.
Now, don't get me wrong. I loved that we got the big play to Nick Richmond.
Yeah.
My only complaint, I didn't say it at the time, was, well, gosh, there's so much time left on the clock for Bentonville.
Valid.
But, hey, I like when we get on the board no matter what time.
21-7. His team scored 42 points a week ago against Jonesboro in the first half. 21 here now in the first half against Bentonville. It's a run. Lions. Boy, a good run by Lions. He's still on his feet. Down to the 23-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Tigers. Move the chains. They have looked more like themselves on this drive.
Yeah, and if I had one critique for this defense tonight so far here in the first half, is that they have been playing a little bit more arm tackly than we saw a week ago, and that's shown up in some of the large number of yardage that Bentonville has racked up, but they've been able to get stops when they've had to.
And Bentonville's hurt themselves a lot with penalties. 1st and 10. Miller. Jordan Dobie goes up high and drops him inside the 20-yard line. It's 2nd down. Coming up at halftime, we'll remind you about a very special event that's happening next Friday night, 1 week from tonight, at our home game against Southside. Let you know about that. Also look at the first half stats that Scott Taylor's put together for us. It has been a good first half for the Wampus Cats, leading 21-7. Loose ball! Let's see who got it. Bentonville came up with it.
Man, that would have been huge again for Conway.
Easton Miller carrying the ball and got it knocked loose, but they came back up with it. At the 21-yard line, it is 3rd down and 8. So a loss on the play.
Coming into this game, Conway had forced one fumble and recovered, and already got one tonight. Forced another ball on the ground, couldn't come away with it that time.
Play clock down to 10, less than a minute to play in the first half. Lions will throw. Complete, and a huge hit by Tyler Banks. Easton Miller makes the catch. Tyler Banks tattoos him at the 12-yard line. That will be enough, though, to move the chains. 1st and 10. There's 48 seconds to play in the first half.
Yeah, they get the first down, but that's something Miller's going to remember later in the game.
Woo. Clock has started. 40 seconds to go in the first half. Handoff to Miller. Matt Lloyd brings him down at the 10-yard line. Tyler Banks helping him out. Easton Miller saying that he was not brought down. He didn't think his knees ever touched, and he tried to get up and run. Timeout Bentonville with 25 seconds to go in the first half. We'll take 30 seconds and come back, and we will have the end of the first half for you. 30-second break, and we're back on Conway Corp Channel 5. To 7 is our score. The Wampus Cats have the lead. I was telling you earlier about Chris Patterson, how I found out what he ate or what he made with his brown sugar. Remember I was asking you about that?
You intrigued me and then didn't deliver.
And
I'm ready.
I've got to tell you, I got to find the tweet. Oh, he made gravy. This is what he made with his brown sugar. He had to make some gravy to go with a couple of honey hams that they were having. Honey hams, and he made the gravy. So
how much of those honey hams do you think made it out of that house?
I would say it was a shutout. I think the humans got the victory there over the honey hams. 21-7. Final 30 seconds of the first half. Pass is incomplete. Nathan Lyons looking for his intended receiver in the corner. Tez Miller was there on the coverage of Cameron Mays Hunt. And it's 3rd down and 8.
Yeah, and he had him open, but that Conway defense in pursuit, making Lions a little bit uncomfortable, rolling out right. He just sells it.
This is a quarterback in Lions who had a fantastic week a week ago. 14 out of 15.
Yeah.
The only incompletion was, or the only one that wasn't a catch was caught by the other team. So everything he threw was caught.
Yeah, and like we said, really came on in the second half. Had 3 touchdown passes. He had a 33-yard rush in the second quarter.
Which is exactly why 21-7 doesn't feel nearly as comfortable as maybe it sometimes feels. Nathan Lyons rolls right. He's directing traffic. Throwing to the back of the end zone. It's too high, incomplete. 4th down and 8. And now Jody Grant's got a real decision to make. Do you go for it on 4th and 8, or do you send out the field goal unit to try to get 3, and it looks like they're going to try that?
Yeah, I think they've just got to get points on the board at this point. They've been disappointed at every seems like every fourth down they've had tonight.
Well, and once again, the defense doing a fantastic job. They're having some personnel issues. They got everybody on the field that needs to be there. Sam Younger is going to attempt the field goal, and it's going to be a 28-yard attempt from the left side. Where's Will Kennedy? He's already blocked 2 in 2 weeks this year. Snap, hold, and a kick. And it is good. 21-10 is our score with 15 seconds to play in the first half. We will keep it here and wrap things up in just a moment. So it's 21-10. Wampus Cats played a really great first half of football, continuing a good football that they've been playing for a few quarters now.
I'd give it an A if I was grading.
I would agree. They've played good football. And they will go into the halftime locker room right underneath where we're sitting, and they'll talk it over and realize they've got a chance to do something really special here tonight. They're beating a Bentonville team that just went over to Oklahoma and beat the 3-time defending state champions over there in Bixby. They are playing against and beating right now a Bentonville team that has beat them 5 consecutive times. Now, of course, you start looking at things like that historically, and it's
different
at one point,
teams, and
it's different teams, different kids, and yeah, it's different. But they've lost 5 consecutive games to this school, including a heartbreaker a few years ago in the state's playoffs. But this team, this group of 100-plus Wampus Cats are playing some great football right now against a quality opponent on the road.
Yeah, they've just kept it rolling from last week, and I loved what I've seen. Kind of makes me mad when I reflect on that Springdale game a little bit, but
a little onside kick, that trickerization thing again.
Very interesting decision there to try and get the onside kick, or a little squib kick.
Well, because with 11 seconds, you put the ball on the 49-yard line.
And not too far from where they had that bomb to Richmond
That's
earlier.
Right. Yeah, it was a 39-yard touchdown pass on that play. So no timeouts.
If you're Conway, do you counter? Do you counter, that play with trying to get in the end zone?
I think so. I think you've got to take every opportunity. Nick Richmond's on the near side. Will McKenna and Joe Thomas here as well. Chris Anderson will go to the left side, set up at the H-back. And you've got Michael George behind Andrew Rhea. 1st and 10, just 11 seconds to play in the first half. Good protection. Now there's some pursuit and a pass. Boy, I called him my favorite player. He dropped the ball.
Well,
he's still my. I think he. I mean,
it's okay.
I got a lot of favorite players.
I don't think he would have scored, and who knows? He might have gone out of bounds. They still would have had a couple seconds, but 3 seconds left right now. So,
what wind there is in our favor right now. So if that catch would have been made, I think Jordan Wicks would have definitely been able to try a field goal. We'll see what happens here with 3 seconds left. Handoff to Michael George. There's a flag on the play. If it's a defensive penalty, then we'll end the first half. Or we will not end the first half. We'll see what the call is before we head to the locker rooms. Say hello back in Conway to Steve Beal. Steve's checking in. Giving a thumbs up to Brooks Smith, who helped us out earlier with the question about the jerseys.
Brooks might be looking for a little compensation at some point.
Maybe get him a shirt or something. Yeah. That's going to be against the Wampus Cats. And a penalty against the Tigers. And so they'll replay the down, which means the Wampus Cats have one more crack at it here. And a lot of the Tigers had basically headed towards their locker room, so they're just going to stay back there and play prevent defense all the way back against the goal line. All right, final play most likely of the second quarter. Michael George slips at midfield, and that is going to do it for the first half of play. And what a great first half. These Wampus Cats coming off the field right underneath us where we're set up in the visiting stands to a standing ovation of Wampus Cat supporters who made the trip up here, to giving those guys a big round of applause that they certainly deserve. Halftime, Conway 21, Bentonville 10 from Tiger Stadium tonight. All right, time now for the Conway Regional Health System halftime show.
Hi, I'm Dr. Greg Kendrick with Conway Regional Health System. Conway Regional has been an important part of this community since 1938, providing excellent care with skill and compassion. But we're not just a hospital. Let me tell you about some of our fantastic facilities and services. Located off of College Avenue, just a few blocks down from the medical center, Conway Regional After Hours Clinic is equipped to handle a wide variety of problems for patients of all ages. If you need urgent care and it's after work or on the weekend, the Conway Regional After Hours Clinic is open 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Conway Regional After Hours Clinic, your best option for after-hours care. Located on Robinson Avenue next to Laurel Park, the Conway Regional Rehabilitation Hospital is one of only 4 licensed inpatient rehab hospitals in the entire state. Patients are cared for by specially trained staff under the direction of an on-site physician who specializes in rehabilitation medicine. Conway Regional Rehab Hospital, your choice for comprehensive care to bring you one step closer to home.
Fitness is about so much more than exercise. It's a catalyst for positive change, and it affects every aspect of your life. Conway Regional Health and Fitness Center is your source for comprehensive medical-based health and fitness programs. Dedicated to improving the wellness of those within our community, we offer something for everyone in the family. Conway Regional Health and Fitness Center, over 20 years of health and wellness in our community.
With 4 locations in Conway and Greenbrier, some with extended clinic hours, our dedicated team provides therapy services, including physical, speech, and occupational therapy, aquatic therapy, cardiac rehabilitation, sports outreach, and pelvic floor rehabilitation. At Conway Regional, we are committed to providing all of our patients the highest quality of care.
And welcome back to Bentonville tonight. It's Jeff and Levi with you. And boy, what a first half for the Wampus Cats, leading 21-10. Look good. We're going to take a bit of a break here in just a moment and let you all do whatever you got to do back home. And we'll do what we have to do here, which is stretch. Just stand up for a second. But what are some of the team stats that you noticed from the first half?
Yeah, I think the key team stats I would look at here is Bentonville is really outperforming Conway in terms of overall offensive output. They've got about 240 yards compared to Conway's 170. But it's been key defensive plays for Conway. I mean, they've had 2 sacks, they've forced a fumble and recovered 1. And then the penalties against Bentonville, they've had 5 for 30 yards, but they've come at really key moments on drives for them. And that's been the difference tonight for Conway, because Bentonville's putting up raw output, but Conway has been able to get key stops, and then the penalties have really hurt Bentonville as well.
Well, and we love to talk about stats because we like sports, and numbers are a part of sports. But the only number that matters is the one on the scoreboard.
That's
and
right.
the Cats are leading 21-10 on the road right now against Bentonville. All right, now's your time. You stand up, you stretch. We're going to do the same. Find something to drink and eat. We may find something to drink and eat here. But we're going to take just a couple of minutes, and we'll come back, and we'll look at all the rest of the first half stats, and we'll have the third quarter for you. The second half is coming up. Cats are on top, 21-10 on the road against Bentonville on Conway Corp Channel 5. It is 21-10, and there are the classy students. I was talking to them during halftime, and they said, "We're not real deep tonight. We're not real deep tonight, but we're active. We're vocal." And they definitely are. The shots of those guys, good to see. They were trying to be a part of our Facebook Live a week ago.
All right.
And we shot something, and they were so excited, and they made all kinds of noise, and they were great at what they did, and then our microphone didn't work. So you didn't get to see it. It would have been great.
We're trying something new with Facebook Live.
Yeah, we did that earlier today. I don't know if you saw it or not on our Facebook page.
It did work today.
It did work today because we stopped in downtown Bentonville, and we ate at the Square. The Station Cafe is the name of this place. Delicious, right?
It was so good.
I had gone there earlier this year with my girlfriend and our kids, and we'd gone to Crystal Bridges, which is awesome, and then went down there and ate, and it was like, we got to go, because anytime we go to a city, we like to eat.
Well, yeah, I mean,
and that was no different today, and so that was some pretty good eats today at the Station Cafe. If you ever make your way up here, 21-10 is our score. Stats. Scott Taylor sits right behind us. He's been putting in all the numbers in the iPad, and they're in front of Levi. Levi, what do you have?
Yeah, we talked a little bit about before the break about the differential and just raw offensive output. You know, Bentonville's around 240. Conway's around 170, but the 5 penalties for Bentonville has kind of held them back. And then this Conway defense has forced a turnover. They've gotten 2 sacks tonight. They had 3 coming into this game. And looking offensively for Conway, because this Conway offense has done their job tonight, put up 21 points in the first half. Michael George, 11 carries for 56 yards. Giovanni Johnson, his only snap of the night, he comes in at the goal line and runs the ball in from 4 yards out to get a touchdown. Rhea tonight, 6 of 11, 109 yards and 2 touchdowns, both of them going to Nick Richmond, who's had 4 receptions, continuing this impressive non-conference performance. He's had 63 yards and 2 scores tonight.
And that's backing up 2 games where he caught 90 yards worth of passes in each of those first 2 games, and he's on a path to do that again. And it's we didn't see him last year, new into the system, at least into the varsity system, and has played great. The Wampus Cats are back on the field, as has become the case in most halftimes. They put 20 minutes on the clock, and that's not enough. And so we've got about 5 more minutes they put on the clock. And
especially the show that Bentonville did. Wow.
Pretty impressive. The Mona Lisa on the bass drums.
Yeah, it had a huge globe that was inflatable, and I was trying to figure out what it all meant. It was all above my head. I have no idea, Jeff. It was complex, to say the least.
Very complex. It is 21-10. Conway has the lead. This is the Conway Regional Health System halftime show. Let's go ahead and take 60 seconds here. We'll take another break. When we come back, I want to tell you about next Friday night. And it's something very special that's going to be going on at John McConnell Stadium. We'll do that in 60 seconds on Conway Corp Channel 5.
At U.S. Truck Accessories, we've got everything you need to accessorize your ride. We carry a huge variety of truck accessories, including bed covers and camper shells painted to match your truck, starting at only $995. Plus, U.S. Truck Accessories is your trailer hitch headquarters. Whether you need a gooseneck hitch, fifth wheel, or receiver hitch, we've got you covered. We're also the area's newest Go-Light dealer. We offer quality products at competitive prices and installation on everything we sell. U.S. Truck Accessories, 1335 East Oak Street in Conway.
At Legacy Fencing, we make an intentional effort to make the fencing process simple. Once you call our office, we will schedule a time to meet with you and understand the details of your project. Within 48 hours, you will receive an estimate. After you choose to proceed, a date will be set and your salesperson will bring our well-qualified installers to begin your fencing project. Only after you are completely satisfied, an invoice is mailed to you and even payment can be made over the phone. Quick, easy, and efficient. That's Legacy Fencing. It's fencing for a lifetime.
21-10 is our halftime score. The Wampus Cats have the lead over the Bentonville Tigers. It is next week we're back at home. Southside Conference opener. Really looking forward to being back. And everybody come out and watch the Wampus Cats. Then you can watch them live at John McConnell Stadium. Then on Saturdays you can watch our replay of the game at 2 and 7. Then video on demand. ConwayCorp.com/WC to go. We don't try to hide the game from you. Lots of places where you can watch the game. But next Friday night, if you're out at the game, you're going to see something really special. The 1977 Wampus Cat football team that had an undefeated regular season. They were 4A West Conference champions. There were just 5 classifications then, and Conway was a 4A school. They won their first 11 games. They lost in the state finals to Benton. And the head coach of that team, legendary Conway football coach, Coach Jerry Joe Harrison, he called a couple of weeks ago and was telling me about that they're doing this reunion. So if you were a part of that 1977 team, or maybe you graduated in 76, 78, and you might know somebody that be a part of that team, let them know about this. Next Friday night, Coach Harrison said there are people coming in from all over the country that were a part of that team to come in and remember what was a really cool event that happened 40 years ago for all of them. And they'll get a chance to see this new version of the Wampus Cats. And John McConnell Stadium, I don't think it was even called John McConnell Stadium 40 years ago.
Right.
I know it didn't look like it does now, and they didn't have a facility to practice in like they do now 40 years ago. So that'll be fun. Next Friday night, they'll do the reunion, and then that team will be introduced at halftime. So hope you'll be there for that next week. Another thing to tell you about is that if you're watching this game right now, go to conwaycorp.com/WC to go and click on the tab for the watch party. So everybody that's been tweeting at us and saying, hey, love the game, we're watching, you should go to that tab, conwaycorp.com/WC to go, click on the watch party. When the Cats go to Fort Smith in a few weeks to take on Northside, we're going to have a watch party at your place. We're going to go do the game, but then you and 10 of your friends, y'all get together, cheer on the Wampus Cats, and we're going to feed everybody. And you'll be able to watch plays just like that Matt Lloyd makes on the opening kickoff of the second half. Do that, conwaycorp.com/WC to go.
Matt Lloyd's a maniac. I tell you, he's just been all over the field tonight and all through non-conference. He's just been playing out of his mind. Had 2 tackles in the first half. Already got 1 on the board here in the second half.
And he's just a smart football player. You can tell he's a great athlete anyway, but just makes great decisions, gets the stops. Here we go. And a big defensive play again. That's Garrett Fusilier who steps up. And these Cats, the first 12 seconds of the second half, 2 huge plays.
We haven't really got to brag on Fusilier tonight yet, and that just feels wrong, Jeff.
Man, he shot that gap so quick. That was a great play. Good job on the replay.
Speaking of maniacs, Matt Lloyd, Garrett Fusilier, really all these linebackers.
And they go too deep. I mean, that's if B.J. Jones has to be the one that comes in, that's great. If it's D.J. Fuller, we've seen good stuff from him. And Logan White is injured and he's dressed out tonight, but we haven't seen him yet. These Cats are loaded at linebacker. Fusilier trying to get the stop. Pressured. Flag comes in. Looks like it's going to be holding. Deep in their own end, Bentonville is in trouble from this Wampus Cat defense. Tonight's one of those nights that I think would be a good idea if you're at home tonight and you're watching the game live and you know you've got some friends who may or may not be, use your social media there and remind folks, hey, the Cats are on live. And it's the second half, and they're beating Bentonville right now by 11.
Well, and the curious thing here, if it is, in fact, a holding call, was he, where was he when the hold took place? Because
they're going to put the ball at the 2-yard line. And I think that's exactly what Coach Clint Ashcraft was asking of the official. It is 3rd down and 23. Lions will hand the ball off. Big hit inside the 5. And they're going to stay right there. Not even able to get to the 5-yard line. How about the Wampus Cats from the special teams played by Matt Lloyd and 3 straight plays by the Cat defense?
Yeah, that was a linebacker possession right there. Matt Lloyd coming in, making a great play on the kickoff coverage, and then Garrett Fusilier playing out of his mind, getting the sack and then forcing another sack there. Man, he is and great opportunity here to get some amazing field position for Conway.
Younger punts. Kennedy wants it, takes it at the 35-yard line. So 1st and 10 for the Wampus Cats at the 35-yard line. Their first possession of the second half upcoming.
And this is a big possession too, because if you're Conway, you've got to capitalize on these great opportunities here with some really good field position and just continue to extend that lead and put pressure on that Bentonville offense, because they have not played well, having to constantly be passing and trying to get the offense going from behind.
Nathan Turner, Lance Rogers, L.J. Hansberry, Keandre Clay, and Thomas Lloyd, your offensive line with Giovanni Johnson behind him, getting the first snap at quarterback in the second half. He runs behind Nathan Turner to the left, picks up a few yards. It'll be second down.
I almost put it down as a worry before the game. You know me.
I know, you got your worries.
I worry about things. One of my worries, though, is with this two-quarterback system is that it might become a little too predictable with, every time Giovanni comes in, we end up running the ball. But the reason I didn't put it down is because it's been effective, even if it has been predictable. And certainly been effective tonight as he had a rushing touchdown in the first half.
Michael George, boy, he's so strong. He kind of ran into Rhea, and that turned him one direction. Then he got arm tackled, and that spun him the other direction, and he's still able to run down to the 27-yard line. It's third down and short.
I would be afraid that my arm would get dislocated if I was trying to arm tackle him.
I don't think they would put either one of us in a position where that could happen to us. They would protect us.
I'm not sure I would put myself in a position for that to happen.
Kerry McLean is in the game. He's set up next to Michael George. It's third down and 3, the direct snap on the Rhino. George on the right side of the line, crosses the 25-yard line. That should be enough to move the chains. And it is. First and 10. The Bentonville defensive players were bouncing around like they'd made the stop, Ben Sellers in particular. And it's not enough as the Cats move the chains.
In the past years, we've always talked about how they never handed off, in that Rhino package. Well, it kind of looked like there was a little confusion there where Michael George just said, nah, I got this.
Yep. Pick up the necessary yardage. First and 10. Cats with their first drive of the second half. Johnson back in. He will run. Runs behind Nate Turner and Lance Rogers on the left side. Short gain at second down.
And I feel like some of this with Giovanni is kind of like setup. Eventually you're going to think he's running. He's going to do that little step back. And
absolutely. And everybody in the 7A Central are going to watch these first 3 weeks of tapes. And they're all wondering, when will he do that? At what time is he going to throw the ball? And Giovanni, if he's got the ability to, and he does with the experience he has, he might recognize that and take that little step back and pass. Rhea rolls right and throws. Joe Thomas with the catch. Thomas brought down by Cameron Mays-Hunt, who's playing in the secondary. Brought down inside the 10-yard line. First and goal.
Joe Thomas, the second leading receiver for Conway, coming into this game, 7 receptions for 99 yards. So he goes over 100 yards on the season there with that catch.
First and goal at Conway Regional Health System, first down. Johnson in at quarterback. He's got 1 rushing touchdown tonight. And room there. Kicks it out. The room got shut down quickly, and the helmet pops off of Cameron Mays-Hunt, so he'll have to step off the field.
And that looked a lot like the same formation that they used on that 4th and goal situation in the first half where he scored, and you saw that similar cut out to the left by Johnson. He's able to pick up a few yards.
Second down and 7. And the Cats running the football so much have eaten a lot of the clock up. We're almost halfway through the third quarter. Johnson to run again. Slung down at the 5-yard line. So it'll be third and goal from the 5.
Rhea's out there, so you're wondering here, do they go Rhino package? Rhea looks like he's going to be lining up in the backfield.
And this is the package where Kerry McLean's on the field too, and it has been the Rhino. And that's what's going to happen. Rhea out to the right. McLean set up next to Michael George. Kennedy in motion. There's the handoff out of the Rhino. Kerry McLean inside the 1-yard line. And it is going to be 4th down and goal.
No, man.
Up by 11. A field goal makes it a 2-touchdown game. A touchdown extends it even more. I like it. Especially after the way the defense played on that first drive. Even if you don't happen to get it, you're still very much winning the field position battle right now.
Yeah, I like the boldness. I mean, field goals aren't going to win this game in the second half.
Here we go. Kennedy in motion. Michael George right into the end zone, right behind Thomas Cloyd. George scores, and the Wampus Cats lead Bentonville 27-10.
You know, I think it's a criticism that we've had the last few years is sort of a more conservative approach to the play calling that we've seen at times for Conway, and I love it tonight, being bold in non-conference on the road against one of the better teams in the state in the last 2 decades.
Right.
Trying to give your team confidence as they head into 7A Central play next week.
Offsides on the defense, so they'll put it a little bit closer to the goal line. Jordan Wicks will attempt the extra point.
And that confidence goes both ways, right? Because, you know, the coaching staff is saying, hey, we're confident in this offense that you're going to be able to convert and get that ball in the end zone. But it's gone the other way, too, in that tonight, the way this offense has played, these coaches have had a ton of confidence. Their confidence has been built up by the play they've seen on the field.
4 for 4 on extra points tonight by Jordan Wicks. He's still perfect on the season, and the Cats lead Bentonville on the road 28-10. We take 30 seconds and come back on Conway Corp Channel 5. (28-10). The Wampus Cats have come on the road at Bentonville, and with a quarter and a half to go, they lead by 18.
Well, that Conway defense gave that offense some great field position. Conway only had to go 35 yards, but that was a tough 35 yards on that possession. A lot of ground game there, a lot of rhino formation. We've probably seen the rhino more on that possession than we have at this point in the season. And that was a well-fought, well-earned touchdown. And you know, you're going to have to keep putting up 6 and 7 on this defense because this Bentonville offense, they proved last week that they can light on fire very quickly in the second half.
And what they did a week ago, if you're wondering what Levi's referring to, is they played at Bixby, Oklahoma last week. We're losing at halftime and went on the road and scored 35 straight points in the second half and just rolled to a win over a great Bixby, Oklahoma team. And so, yeah, you got to keep your guard up. You got to stay focused. I mean, you're up 18, but you want to keep making the stops like you made. That's a great start to this possession. Talk about special teams. Jordan Wicks puts it into the end zone, so the touchback brings it out to the 20-yard line.
Yeah, and keep bragging on this Conway defense as well. And they really need to, you know, keep their foot on the gas too. You know, don't get too conservative. You know, still be aggressive because that paid off dividends on that last Bentonville possession.
Nathan Lyons. Pass was intended for Mays Hunt. He slipped, incomplete.
It kind of reminds me a little bit about the history that Conway had with Greenwood too, you know, a few years ago back when they were in that combined 7A, 6A Central and played so many close games with them and just so frustrated they hadn't been able to beat them. And then, you know, on a Friday night we go to Greenwood in 2014 and kind of, you know, exercise the demons of that history. Maybe we can do the same thing tonight here.
Miller with a big run into the secondary. That'll move the chains. And it is 1st and 10 for Bentonville.
Yeah, Miller well on his way to a 100-yard game already here in the second half. He had 83 yards rushing in the first half.
And he's one of those running backs that you mentioned. And actually the sophomore does the same. Preston Crawford, number 1. But number 8, Easton Miller, is definitely the one that glides, and he's just so slippery. And you got to watch him because he gets into the secondary quickly. He could score. He'll get a chance here to run. Not able to get past that second line. And the linebacker crew making a good stop again.
And this Conway defense has been opportunistic tonight because, like we've said, I mean, Bentonville has certainly put up offensive numbers. You know, they're well over 260 yards of total offense here early or midway through the third quarter. But Conway's forced a turnover and gotten some sacks tonight. Been aggressive on key third down situations, which we're about to see here.
Tez Miller comes in and slows him down, and Garrett Fusilier finishes him off. That's Miller, and if you don't make the stop there, he's got 15 more yards easily. So it brings up 3rd down and 6. See if that opportunistic defense can do it again here. Ball at the 42-yard line. Bad snap. Lions feels the pressure. Gets away from Zach Friedel and Garrett Fusilier. What a defensive play. Diving to knock it away. Superman, Matt Lloyd.
He did go full on Superman right there. Wow.
What a play.
I'm not sure that he didn't pick that thing off.
How about that Wampus Cat defense? Your smart Wampus Cat fans here in front of you making all kinds of noise. Watch this. Just a mess from the snap. Then you had Garrett and Zach getting close to him. There's the pass. And Matt Lloyd stretching out, diving right into the Bentonville bench, giving himself up, forcing the punt, and it's a good one. The Wampus Cats will have a lot of ground to make up as the ball is going to be inside their own 5-yard line, where they'll have it 1st and 10, leading by 18, 28-10 over Bentonville. There's a flag on the play. Back at the line of scrimmage, stats pointing that out.
Doesn't change things too much there.
No, not too much at all. It was a holding call against the Wampus Cats. So they will have the football 1st and 10, and Giovanni Johnson in the game with 3 wideouts.
And if you're Conway here, you know, a win on this possession is turning the field over. You know, if you can get it downfield, great. But what we want to do here is make sure that we get a few first downs and at least have an opportunity to flip the field.
And our guys are down in front of their band, in front of their student section. It's loud on that end of the field. Giovanni Johnson out to the 2-yard line.
Wouldn't be surprised if we see the Rhino come in here.
Towers on the stop. You've got Michael George in, and you've got Andrew Rhea. Look for Kerry McLean. He's the key to that. If you see 33 on the field, then that's usually when you see the Rhino. He is not out there, so Rhea will set up. He's in the end zone. 2nd down. Handoff to George. Michael George crosses the 5-yard line where it will be 3rd down. Spensky on the stop. 3 minutes to play in quarter number 3. 3rd down and 6. This is a big one. You talked about it, Levi. They really want to turn the field over. Got to get 6 yards here to make that happen. And the Bentonville student section coming to their feet. They're making some noise. Johnson to throw.
Yeah.
Pass interference. That pass was overthrown by 15 yards. It was overthrown by 15 yards because Will McKenna was slowed down enough that he couldn't finish his route. And a big mistake once again by this Bentonville Tiger team. Something that you don't normally see from this squad. They're making some mental mistakes that are continuing drives for the Wampus Cats and ending drives for themselves.
Yeah, and kudos there to Will McKenna as he gets locked up with that defender there and is able to get his hands free enough to kind of, you know, I think there definitely was contact there, but it kind of helped sell it a little bit too to get those arms out.
Hey, that's the sort of thing that's coached. I mean, and that plus just kids like Will that are just good, smart football players know to do that. All right, so it's 1st and 10 Wampus Cats. Ball out at the 21-yard line.
And this changes your offensive outlook a little bit here now that you got some breathing room.
Rhea will look to throw. Will Kennedy. Speaking of what they teach, Will knew that he couldn't get to the ball, but he also knew he could run into the back of a defender and try to sell it. No dice that time. So it'll be 2nd down and 10.
But just by getting that penalty, a few plays ago, that allows your offense to be able to open up to look at a deep passing play like that now that you're not in the shadow of your own uprights.
That's right. Michael George behind Andrew Rhea. Quick out to Richmond. And he's dropped 2 balls since I confessed how much I like Nick Richmond as a player.
Are you blaming yourself, Jeff?
A little. Actually, not at all. There's some big guys playing defense out there that are trying to hurt him. And so I would imagine that may be a little bit of it. We've also seen some fantastic catches tonight. And anytime you throw the ball to 14, I'll be happy about it. 2:23 to go, third quarter. Cats on top 28-10. Big third down and 10 play. Rhea. There is the screen pass to Michael George. He's going to get to the 24-yard line, but that will be short of the first down. So the penalty helped. It obviously gave them a little bit of breathing room, but they're going to have to punt the football away. There is a pretty good breeze from the south. That is to our left, the direction the Wampus Cats are going. So if they can get it up into that breeze a little bit, it's going to be Will Kennedy that's going to punt.
We used to do that. Well, of course, we didn't see the punt team last week. You know, historically, Conway has done that weird formation where they try and draw people off sides.
Kennedy to punt. And a good punt. Taken at the 35-yard line. Good return. Darius Washington makes the stop, but not before. A nice return by the Tigers, and they have it 1st and 10 inside their 40 at the 39.
Yeah, still feel like that's a net positive for Conway on that possession. And, you know, if they had better coverage on the punt coverage there and kept Bentonville on their side of the field, I think it would have been better, obviously. But
well, the other thing it did is it took a minute and a half off the clock and got us that much further into this game. Cats are leading by 18. 13 and a half minutes to play. Outlet to Johnson. He jumped over Tez Miller, which brought a lot of noise from the Bentonville fans, but then he fell.
Couldn't stick the landing.
No, he could not stick. That's exactly right. The dismount was not successful.
I give it a 1 or a 2 if I'm the Russian judges.
That would be fun to see again. Very exciting 5-yard play. 2nd down and 5. Lions. Intercepted by Garrett Fusilier. Lions throws a bullet intended for Cameron Mays Hunt. Garrett Fusilier steps in front of it and gets the 2nd turnover of the night.
What a play by Fusilier as he has just come on fire here in the second half and gets Conway's 4th interception here in just their 3rd game of the season. And wow, couldn't have come at a better time for Conway.
That was huge. 48 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter. The Cats have the football 1st and 10 at their own 36. Andrew Rhea will come out along with Kerry McLean. Kerry's going to be in the game at running back. 5'11", 167-pound junior is McLean. 3 wideouts for Rhea. McLean will get the carry. Short gain, it is 2nd down. Joe Thomas, Nick Richmond, Will McKenna, all on the field. McKenna will go to the far side. Richmond and Thomas stay on the near side. Chris Patterson in the game along with Giovanni Johnson. So it's a 2 tight end set with Patterson and Anderson both on the field. The pair of Chris's that play tight end and H-back. Giovanni Johnson, will he run? He's back there by himself. No, he will throw. Looking for Nick Richmond. Richmond was slowed down and wondering where the call is. And
here comes Ashcraft.
Ashcraft is asking too.
Great job there. You saw Johnson in the backfield. He kind of looked out to Richmond, gave a little pat on his helmet. Looked like they did a little audible there at the line.
3rd down and 9.
And he had a good look at it too, running the ball. That's one thing about Johnson. He definitely has a deep ball.
4 seconds to play in the 3rd quarter. Cats lead 28-10. Whistle comes in before the snap. Delay a game. It's going to make it 3rd down and 14. It was 21-10 at halftime. We've played another quarter. The Cats have extended the lead to 28-10. 12 minutes to go. Andrew Rhea with Kerry McLean in the backfield. Reset the clock to 4 seconds. 3rd down and 14. That pass is intercepted, but there is multiple flags on the field. There is going to be pass interference, so this is going to come back. Stepped in front of it was Andrew Bartgas, who got the pick, but there's going to be interference.
And really the first time tonight that Bentonville defense has gotten pressure on Rhea. You could see it as he's forced to step up a little earlier than he wants to, and just didn't see that linebacker cutting across the field.
That's going to be the end of the quarter. They're setting where the ball's going to be, and they'll flip the field. We'll let the call be made officially, then we'll take our break. They called the pass interference on Jaden Loudermilk, the senior. And after they step it off, going to check and see if it's a first down, and sure enough it is.
Yeah.
So at the 47-yard line, it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Wampus Cats. We'll turn the field over as the 4th quarter is going to begin. And these Cats are 12 minutes away from as big a road win as they have had in a really, really long time. They'll get all the particulars stepped out here, and then we will know officially. It is going to be a first down. That's the end of the 3rd quarter. Let's take 60 seconds. Tell your friends the Cats are on top of Bentonville 28-10. It's Conway Corp Channel 5.
Steve's Auto Center is dedicated to getting your vehicle safely back on the road. From fender benders to a major collision, we offer the area's most advanced auto body repair services. With expert workmanship and the highest quality materials and paints available, we strive to exceed your expectations. And count on us for Central Arkansas's best towing and recovery services. We'll travel anywhere in the state at any time to rescue your equipment.
Come to Steve's Auto Center for all your automotive needs.
Your life is about to change forever, and Conway Regional will be with you every step of the way. We're committed to being the best. That's why our OBGYNs won't deliver anywhere else. Your newborn will benefit from our groundbreaking nursery alliance with Arkansas Children's Hospital. And as you adapt to the new world that's in front of you, know that everyone at Conway Regional is all on the same team. Yours. One team, one promise, Conway Regional.
28-10 is our score as we start the 4th quarter. Cats up. Lots of folks checking in on Twitter at 5 Sports Live. We've got folks all around the world that are watching tonight, Levi. 1st and 10, and the carry is made by Kerry McLean. Picks up a few yards, 2nd down.
6 penalties tonight against Bentonville. That last one coming on the play before, and they've just been huge penalties at the absolute wrong time. Kind of what we saw for Conway in week 1 against Springdale. They've kind of flipped the script here tonight, and it's been Bentonville making the mistakes.
2nd down and 4. Andrew Rhea. He's got Kerry McLean behind him. 3 deep at running back for these Cats. McLean falls forward to the 45, and it is going to be 3rd down. Stop made by Jared Ritchie.
Conway offense has stalled out a little bit here in the later part of the 3rd quarter, and now here into the 4th.
Leading by 18, every second that ticks off the clock is closer and closer and closer to a win.
Yeah, absolutely.
So running the ball has already taken a minute off of the clock, and that just keeps this Bentonville offense on the sideline. They'll stay on the ground here with McLean. He is going to dive forward and be short of the 1st down at the 44-yard line. So it is going to be 4th down and about a yard. 10.5 minutes to play in the game.
A tough decision here for Conway.
field position game. You send Will Kennedy out there and have it punt out of bounds in the corner. If you're going to try to be aggressive, they may use the entire play clock here and then use one of their 3 timeouts, and that's what they're going to do.
Or they might take the penalty and back it up 5 more yards. I don't know. I would come out and try and get a hard count, maybe try and draw them off sides.
They're going to allow the game clock to go under 10 minutes before they use the timeout. First timeout taken by the Wampus Cats in the second half. Well, instead of taking a break here, I want to update some folks from Twitter. We've been hearing from lots of people, and I mentioned all around the world. First of all, Jeff Wicks, Jordan's dad, who's usually a part of the radio broadcast that our friends over at Y107 do, he couldn't make the trip tonight, so he is back home in Conway watching the game, watching his son Jordan doing a great job tonight. Kathy Estes checked in. Always good to hear from Kathy. She said incredible first half. Debbie Hibbs checks in. She says Debbie Hibbs and Eric Maxwell are watching the game. Great game. Keith and Debbie Wingfield are watching tonight from Kiev, Ukraine. You mentioned the Russian judges. From Kiev, Ukraine, Debbie Wingfield is checking in and watching. She's saying thanks for the time clock. Debbie, it's our pleasure. Glad to be able to do that for you and for everybody watching Wampus Cat football tonight. Wampus Cats to go. That's our road broadcast. We get to do these games live for you back to Conway. And it does not happen without Conway Regional Health System. Thank them so much for being a part of the Conway community for decades, generations of folks who have gotten great care from Conway Regional Health System. All right, 4th and 1. It will be the Rhino. And it will be Michael George moving the chains. 1st and 10 Wampus Cats.
You know, we saw it on the other field in the third quarter as they go big and bold on a 4th down and a yard or 2. And they end up getting the score. And Ashcraft and this Conway coaching staff and this team they're going for it all tonight.
Hey, this has been 2 straight weeks of incredibly impressive performances. We just got to finish this one out. 18-point lead. On the ground, Kerry McLean. He's tripped up. Tackle is made by Buster Van Hooser, which is one of the better names you'll ever hear. Buster Van Hooser on the stop. The official talking to Thomas Cloyd about something. 1 yard gain at 2nd down and 9. Twofold for the Cats. Keep getting yards and the clock keeps running. Now we've played 3 minutes of the 4th quarter. Bentonville has yet to touch the ball. Andrew Rhea with Kerry McLean behind him, and they'll stay on the ground. Nope, they'll throw. Complete to Chris Anderson. Chris upended at the 32-yard line. Stays in bounds, and the clock keeps running. Smart play by the senior. Tight end, H-back, Chris Anderson. Smart to be getting tripped up, but being able to somehow athletically stay in bounds. 32-yard line. It is to be 3rd and 3. Rhino again. Will Kennedy in motion. Michael George again. He gets stood up at the 30-yard line. It's going to be short of the 1st down. 4th down and short upcoming.
And tick-tock, Jim.
Another minute off the clock. Under 8 minutes to play now. And it's 4th down and 2. They have been going to the Rhino, obviously in cases like this, all season and really for a few seasons now. And every single time, except tonight, we've seen the same run. Tonight they handed the ball off out of it. What wrinkle will be here? No wrinkle at all. Just power football to the right. Michael George, 31 yards for the touchdown.
And Conway going for the jugular tonight. Everything just working for this Conway offense. Michael George, he's so dangerous in that formation because you can't arm tackle him. It's going to take more than one defender. And when he can break out to the right like that, he's got that 4.5 speed. He's not just a crusher.
Michael George, 2nd touchdown of the second half.
Yeah, 17 carries tonight for the senior, 102 yards and 2 important touchdowns here in the second half.
Jordan Wicks, 5 of 5 tonight on extra points. He continues to be perfect this year. And the Wampus Cats, with 7.5 minutes to play, are beating Bentonville by 25 points on the road. Your Cats are back, friends. Let's take 30 seconds and come back on Conway Corp Channel 5. Classy students, like they said, they're not deep tonight, but they're loud. They're chanting, "We can't hear you," to what is an absolutely packed Bentonville student section across the way. It is 35-10. The Wampus Cats are leading Bentonville and are 7.5 away from getting this win.
Small and mighty is the student section here, but I tell you, this Conway offense, defense, and special teams right here been big and mighty all night long.
Look at that. Wampus Cats flying around with purpose right now. Garrett Fusilier, Malik Benton, B.J. Jones out there, and a flag on the field. $7:21 to go. If you're just joining us, you've heard what the Cats are doing tonight. Thank you for watching. If you're on Twitter, find us at 5 Sports Live. We are always posting extra content there throughout the game, the home games and the road games. You'll see some angles that you can't normally see during the broadcast and some great social media graphics that you can share and let other folks know what the Cats are doing. And we appreciate you being a part of what we do here on 5 Sports on Friday nights. Had a chance to, I mentioned last week, visiting with Chris Patterson a little bit, the tight end H-back for the Cats, and he said, "We just really want to tell you thank you for all you guys do." And I said, "Man, we just love the role that we get to play. You know, there's all these, everybody's got a role. There's coaches, there's cheerleaders, there's the band, there's the players. And we just get to be the people that bring the images back to Conway, and we love doing it."
Oh, yeah, for sure.
We bleed blue and white. Pass is incomplete. Lions looking for Miller. B.J. Jones there in the coverage, and he's hobbling off. Blake Walter back out. Do we bleed blue and white? I guess it's both.
I think
I don't know.
I think the saying typically would be
just
that
one
you just
color.
bleed blue.
Bleed blue.
Yeah. But you know, maybe you're a special individual.
Really, that's kind. 7:17 to play. Cats are up by 25. Lions to throw. Good pitch and catch out to the 18. Stop made by Tyler Banks. Cameron Mays Hunt makes the catch.
And the clock just becomes Conway's friend and Bentonville's enemy.
Yeah, the clock stopped for some reason there. Going to be a run and a big gain. That was not a first down, and the clock stopped. Easton Miller there.
Ashcraft, let him hear it over here on the left.
Well, you got to fight for every single moment to the very end of these games. We've talked a lot about what they did last week. Got to keep them off the scoreboard. 35-10, Cats up. Pressure. Lions throws out of bounds. The second down and 10. Clock will stop with the incomplete pass. 6:50 to play.
Matt Lloyd doesn't get the sack there, but still that pressure just keeping Lions uncomfortable. I mean, he's looked uncomfortable pretty much all night, especially here in the second half.
Yep. Second down and 10. This Bentonville team 1-1 in the season, losing to Rockhurst in week 1 up in Kansas City. Traditional huge program there. Knocked away by Will Kennedy. Jackson Freeman was there also. The pass was intended for Dylan Smith. Will Kennedy knocks it loose. They lost to Kansas City Rockhurst. They went over to Bigsby, Oklahoma and beat them last week. Their first game in their stadium this year. They're down 35 to 10. This is a Wampus Cat defense that has held them to 10 points tonight. 6:45 to play. Clock stops with the incomplete pass. Big play, 3rd and 10. Lions to throw. Pressure, steps up and throws. Intercepted. Picked off by Tyler Banks. Tyler Banks. Banks with the interception return inside the 10-yard line. And the Wampus Cats have it 1st and goal with 6.5 to play. Is there a flag on the field? No. Yes?
Yep.
Yes?
Might have been a block in the back on the return. Everything seemed clean on the play, and Banks just reading that ball perfectly. The pressure again.
All right, so it's a penalty against the Wampus Cats on a block, and so it was a 15-yard penalty. They said it was on Kane Aaron. So at 15 yards from the spot of the foul. So we're not going to have it 1st and goal, which honestly, that works out fine because it gives us more space to run the ball and to burn more clock. Exactly. Everything happens for a reason, Levi. I want you to remember that. I know you're young.
Well,
even on the football field.
Hey, I love the play there by Banks. Just a great read, and got to give credit to this defensive line, the linebackers forcing Lions into some pressure, and he has not performed well under pressure tonight.
No,
2 interceptions.
And he'd thrown 4 touchdowns and 4 interceptions coming into tonight, and a couple more picks tonight. All right, 1st and 10. Cats not 1st and goal, but 1st and 10 at the 48-yard line. Giovanni Johnson will run the ball to the left. Spins out of the first tackle and falls down, loses 2 yards. It'll be 2nd down.
It's time to go back to your bell cow here. I mean,
are you getting nervous?
I'm not nervous, but you know, let's close this thing out with an exclamation point. We don't have to get cute here. I mean, give it to your beast and keep feeding them the ball.
That
Michael George, of course.
Yeah, that beast is on the sideline right now. Kerry McLean is in the game behind Andrew Rhea, and we have reached the halfway mark of the 4th quarter. Rhea, pump fake, steps up, throws. He wants Nick Richmond. It sails on him a little bit, and now it's 3rd down and 12. Clock stops with the incomplete pass, 5:49 to go. Ball right at midfield. Once again, if you're joining us tonight, you're watching the game live on Channel 5 or 585 on Conway Cable or online at conwaycorp.com/WC to go. Head over there to the tab that says Watch Party. We'd love to feed you and your friends while you watch the Cats in a couple of weeks when we take on Northside. Hand off to Kerry McLean. If he can get past that guy, he would have been able to pick up some yardage. There is a flag on the field. See what that's all about. Riley Martin made the stop. Looks like it's going to be on the Cats. The official looking over at Jody Grant, asking him if he wants to decline the penalty. It is a hold against the Cats. It will be declined, and it's 4th down. So not a good offensive series for the Wampus Cats there, Levi.
No, but you run a little bit more time off the clock.
You do.
Could have been even more. I mean, just run the ball. Like
it's surprising, very surprising, because they've done that for so much of the. They really were playing the 4th quarter, the whole 4th quarter, kind of with that 4-minute offense where you want to just run clock. And then when it gets to the 6-minute mark, they change things up just a little bit. We'll punt the ball away here and put this defense back on the field that has played lights out tonight. Kennedy kicks it straight up in the air. Takes a bit of a Bentonville bounce. Darnell Washington will down it at the 32.
Yeah, good job there by Washington with the nice hops as he keeps that ball from taking an even sweeter bounce for Bentonville.
Yeah, no, it definitely came back. All right, so 5:18 to play. Cats on the road at Bentonville tonight. They have lost 5 straight to this Tiger team. last year losing 16-7 at home.
Just keep doing the same thing if you're this Conway defense. Don't let up. Just keep the pressure coming because it's working.
Nathan Lyons at quarterback. He will look to throw to his left and does. Pass is complete. Fumble. They'll say he was down.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that one.
I don't know if we've got a replay on that or not, but yeah, seemed like a quick whistle on that. There's a flag on the play. We'll watch the replay here. It's a flag on the play as they discuss that on the opposite side. We'll watch this. See if this ball comes loose. Ooh, that ball was way loose before he hit the ground.
I don't know. It's hard to tell if maybe his elbow hit, but.
So maybe a bit of a break for Bentonville, but a break for the Wampus Cats because of a penalty, illegal formation. And so they lose 5 yards from the original line of scrimmage. So it's 1st and 15. We'll be under 5 minutes to play when they snap the ball. Low snap. Lyons looks and throws. Complete. And a good open field tackle made by Tyler Banks. Banks playing a great game tonight.
Yeah, Banks coming on in the second half with some big plays here. Well, we've seen this defense all night just doing a good job with their coverages and then, making tackles in the open field like you saw Banks do there.
Lyons. Complete to Johnson. He's a load. Hard to bring him down. They do on the far side. Lyons connects with Johnson. And I don't know if our camera guys could pan up just a little bit and show the Bentonville side of the stands. But it was absolutely packed, including all of those chairback seats that you can see at the top of your screen. Good job by our camera crew showing you that. There's a lot of Bentonville folks that have left tonight. It's been a while since they've been handled like this at home. 35-10 as we are deep into the fourth quarter. On 3rd down and 1, it'll be a run by Easton Miller, enough to move the chains. It'll be 1st and 10 into Conway territory just by a yard. 4:17 to play in the game.
Saw Will Kennedy there on that tackle trying to get his hand in there and rip that ball out.
This has become a ball hawking defense and a very innovative offense. Pass knocked away by Will Kennedy. Intended for Cameron Mays Hunt. Kennedy gets in there, knocks it loose. He and Jackson Freeman talking.
B.J. Jones, he comes on the blitz here on the left side, and he just blows up the Bentonville running back trying to make a block, and then almost gets to Lyons.
4:02 to play in the game. Cats on the verge of a huge road victory. Lyons overthrows his intended receiver. It'll be 3rd down and 10. I mentioned earlier that this is going to be, if they come out and get this win, biggest road win they've had in a while. Well, this is, what's it whenever you think the last thing you saw is always the greatest thing you saw? There's some phrase for that. Somebody on Twitter is going to tell me. But here's the truth. It was just a year ago. At Cabot,
yeah.
When we were winless and they were undefeated, #1 in the state. So it just happened.
Yeah.
But this is still a big win if it happens. On the road against and maybe it's because it's Northwest Arkansas too.
But we've beaten Cabot a fair share the last few years. We can't say that about Bentonville.
That's true. Yeah, they have won 5 in a row in this series. And Conway on the verge of getting this win. Got to stop them though. They make me nervous because of what they did a week ago and because they're still Bentonville. Big play there. And it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Tigers inside the 20-yard line. Or excuse me, just outside the 20 at the 21. Nathan Lyons will look to throw. He's got a lot of time. He could run, and he will. Matt Lloyd makes him run out of bounds at the 10-yard line. It'll be 2nd down. Second down and a yard. It is first down. Going to be just outside the 10-yard line at the 11. First and 10 from the 11-yard line. 4 wideouts for Nathan Lyons. He's going to run. Kicking it outside, still on his feet. Pushed out of bounds by Darnell Washington.
Just got a visit from Tyler Banks' dad.
Oh, yeah, we
Ron
met him
Banks.
a couple weeks ago. Yeah.
He said, can you say something on air for me? I'm like, well, yeah,
sure we can.
He's like, I just want 21 reasons to know I'm really proud of him tonight.
It's awesome. Yeah, Tyler Banks, he told us that's the 21 reasons is a nickname.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, no, Dad's definitely proud of him.
And we've been bragging on him here in the second half.
That interception, the plays he's made, he's played great. Penalty against the Tigers. That's very cool. You know, honestly, when we do the games from the stands, it's not always the best environment, let's be honest. It sometimes
Not
can
because
be
of the
tough.
fans.
Not because of the fans at all. No, just because of the setup. But being able to be in the stands, after the last touchdown, I gave Chris Smith a high five, whose sons we have watched play for years. You got Tyler Banks' dad coming by and saying something. So many parents who say something to us, and that's just so much fun for us as we get to be a part of what happens here. And what happened there was a Wampus cat blowing up a Tiger.
Yeah, Roman Aaron coming in. The Tigers go back to that screenplay that they've had a little bit of success with tonight. Roman Aaron blowing it up.
It is 3rd down and 5. They can get a first down without a touchdown, just inside the 1-yard line. And you talked about it in the past. You know, so many of the parents will wear their son's numbers and name on the back of their jersey, so we get a chance to figure out who these folks are. Preston Crawford is brought down inside the 1-yard line, so it will be first and goal from about the half-yard line. 3:26 to play in the game. 25-point lead for the Wampus Cats, but Bentonville on the verge of scoring. Handoff. Second down. He did not get in.
And this is great for Conway, because even if Bentonville converts here, the fact that they just keep delaying it with stops, that clock just keeps running.
Well, there's just not enough time for them to come all the way back. Is there? It's a 4-score game, right? It's a 3-score game, right? 25-point deficit is no more, as it's 35-16. Touchdown there late. You can expect the onside kick momentarily, as Bentonville will try to get the ball and try to break the hearts of the Wampus Cats again. It's going to take something that I don't think this Cat defense is going to allow.
No.
And the good thing is following this attempt for the point after touchdown, they're going to go for 2, which they have to. They would need 3 touchdowns and 3 two-point conversions, and that still wouldn't be enough. Intercepted by Matt Lloyd. And all he saw was green. 3rd pick of the night. That one on the 2-point conversion, and the Wampus Cats lead 35-16 with 2:53 to play in the game. The kickoff, it'll be an onside kick, is next. Let's take 30 seconds, and we're back on Conway Corp Channel 5.
Hi, my name is Ashley Mann, and I would like for you to join me on my show, Breathe Yoga, on Channel 5. Each episode will consist of a 30-minute yoga practice that will help you along your yoga journey, whether you are new to yoga or an advanced practitioner. So if you've always wanted to try yoga but didn't know where to begin, join me on Breathe Yoga, only on Channel 5.
All right, 2:53 to go. It's 35-16. The Wampus Cats are on top. We've mentioned how much we love people letting us know that they're watching and tweeting at us. And I got to say hi to Zach Arnold, former Wampus Cat and a fellow Sooner. Boomer to Zach Arnold. And wherever he is, he just yelled Sooner back at whatever device he's on, because that's what we do.
Right. That's one of the
We're planting flags is what we're doing
interesting things that such people do.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, it's interesting when your team is in the top 2 in the nation, yes.
My wife is an Oklahoman.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Does she like the Sooners?
She says she does, but she has no idea, really.
She has no idea.
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
she'll
that's
root
fine.
for them, but she wouldn't even know what they're doing or who they're playing or, that kind of thing.
They're playing Tulane tomorrow. You can let her know that.
I probably won't, but
maybe she's listening. Now she knows.
Maybe.
Okay, the onside kick taken by the Wampus Cats, so they've got the ball 1st and 10, but to Zach Arnold and to Jeff Wicks and to the Wingfields and Kiev Rush, everybody else that we've heard from tonight, thank you so much for watching. It's why we do these games, and it's a thrill for us that folks are watching.
And it kind of has that Cabot vibe from a year ago, where you're just everything just seems to be going Conway's way, including this run by Michael George here.
Look at that. Wow.
He, got a penalty over there on the sidelines. Somebody had a little
frustration.
Extra contact out of bounds. But he just keeps running hard. Yeah, personal foul against the Tigers. It's going to add insult to injury there.
Yeah, this doesn't happen too much to this Bentonville team. No, we haven't talked a lot about it, but they have, their numbers have changed. They've started to see, some players moving out to Bentonville West. And, will it be a Harbor and Springdale thing? We don't know. It's hard to tell. It's still very early in that, but Bentonville is still Bentonville. And they've still got facilities that are second to none.
I mean, you see it on their field house over here. They have this huge picture, and it says "Where Excellent Lives." And I've looked at that several times tonight. It's really stuck with me looking at it.
Michael George gets the direct snap. He'll move the pile down inside the 15-yard line. And also just next to that is a sign that's lit up that says State Champs. And we started doing Wampus Cat football in the 2001 football season. That was our first year, 2001, Peyton Hillis' sophomore year. Well, since we started doing Wampus Cat football, this Bentonville Tiger team has brought 5 state championships back to Bentonville. It's a great program, a legendary program.
And been in the championship game even
times.
more times.
That's right, that's right. And so, without question, this is a very, very big win that the Cats are 2 minutes away from securing. Let him eat. Michael George inside the 10-yard line. It's going to be close to a first down. I believe it. It's tough to tell from this angle. Now we know for sure. It's 1st and goal for the Wampus Cats.
And as we reflect on this non-conference schedule, I mean, they could so easily be 3-0 if they. But I think Springdale was a good thing for them because it really showed them that, hey, when we don't play sound football and we make silly mistakes, that's the term that Coach Ashcraft used in the coaches show during the pregame, then you're going to lose.
And look at the victory formation. Andrew Rhea takes the snap, takes 2 steps back, and takes a knee. These Wampus Cats are going to get this win. You see the players on the sidelines are holding up the 2 fingers, the V's, the victory formation. The Cats are going to improve to 2-1 with wins over 2 top 10 programs in back-to-back weeks, over Jonesboro a week ago, and coming on the road to Bentonville tonight. And they're going to get the victory 35-16. What a great performance and a statement win going into conference play next week at home against Southside. And folks, if you're watching and you are in Conway, get out next Friday night. Come out and watch this team. Make some noise. This is an exciting football team right now, and there's some great things happening. You only get 4 chances to see them at home in the regular season. Come out next week and watch them.
Yeah, coming into the season and, the work we did on the preseason show, just sitting down, looking at their schedule, looking at what they had back and kind of their strengths and where they were a little weak. I kind of looked at this team and I thought, I think they're going to be a little bit better. I think they could finish 3rd in the 7A Central. But after this non-conference performance, I say the sky's the limit once we get into conference play.
I'm with you. I think so, too. And they've just come on the road and they've knocked off Bentonville. Final score tonight, 35-16. That is a happy bunch of Wampus Cats on the field and in the stands and definitely in the broadcast booth as well. Congratulations to Coach Ashcraft and his guys. That's a win. 35-16. We'll take 60 seconds and come back and wrap this one up on Conway Corp Channel 5.
Fitness is about so much more than exercise. It's a catalyst for positive change, and it affects every aspect of your life. Conway Regional Health and Fitness Center is your source for comprehensive medical-based health and fitness programs. Dedicated to improving the wellness of those within our community, we offer something for everyone in the family. Conway Regional Health and Fitness Center, over 20 years of health and wellness in our community.
Jane, did you know that Legacy Fencing was voted as the best of the best in Faulkner County? Of course I did. Everybody knows that. Did you know Legacy Fencing is still the best of the best in Faulkner County?
Of course I do. Everybody knows that. Some things just don't change.
While most things change, Legacy Fencing continues to be the fencing company that the people of Conway trust.
Legacy Fencing. It's fencing for a lifetime.
And we are back. And if you didn't write the final score down, you wouldn't know it because they turned off the scoreboard quick here at Tiger Stadium. It is 35-16. That's your final score. The Wampus Cats finishing up, shaking hands, and making their way over in front of those Classy students. And I tell you what, I expect to see a ton of Classy students out next week, and Classy grown-ups, and Classy elderly folks.
Where are you going with this?
I need Classy people in the stands next week. I want to see a huge crowd for these Wampus Cats because they deserve it. Great win tonight, 35-16.
Yeah, quick look at the numbers. Really want to brag on the defense as they had 2 sacks tonight, or actually 3 sacks, forced 2 turnovers, or actually 3 turnovers, I guess they ended up being. They had 2 interceptions and the 1 forced fumble that they recovered. Just a great performance from this defense tonight. And then Michael George, another 100-yard plus performance from him. He had 20 carries and 2 touchdowns. Andrew Rhea, 9 of 18 for 125 and 2 scores. Nick Richmond, the stud at receiver tonight, 4 receptions, 63 yards, and 2 scores. And just an all-around great game from this defense. Tyler Banks, want to give him another shout-out. Hit 5 tackles tonight.
21 reasons?
Yeah, 21 reasons. He had that 1 interception there late, and Roman Aaron with 7 tackles. I mean, just all these guys. Tez Miller had a great night. Just a really great defensive team performance from them.
And Levi, it's 2 weeks in a row of very few mistakes.
Right.
Turnovers are down. Penalties are down. Mental mistakes are down. And I agree with something that you said earlier. That loss at Springdale, I think it may have helped this team as much as getting a win that night. Now, of course, you would want to win. You always want to win. But if they've taken that loss and 2 weeks of fantastic practices and 2 great football games, last week the most complete performance we've seen in a long time, following up this week going on the road against an opponent like Bentonville and getting a statement victory. This is the kind of score that's going to resonate around the state, and they're going to think, wait, Conway's different. Conway is not the Conway that went 0-5 last year and just made their way into the playoffs. This is a team that's going to do something into conference season, and we're all looking forward to that next Friday.
Yeah, certainly a different tone for this team at 2-1 after non-conference instead of 0-3, heading into 7A Central play at home next week with Southside. This team they've planted their flag tonight, and they've made their name known here in non-conference. They're gonna do some special things this year if they can continue to play sound football and mistake-free football like they've done the last 2 weeks.
Well, we want to thank you once again for watching. Our entire Channel 5 crew. It's a long trip to Bentonville, and they set everything up in the stands, and they find places to plug stuff in, and sometimes it doesn't always work, and just you have no idea the amount of work that goes into these games each week, and it's a very, very talented group that we get to work with. And then everybody else from Stats and Robin and Justin, all the social media stuff, it is just a thrill to be a part of it. You see us on camera, but there's a crew of 12 people that come to town and broadcast these games back to Conway. Thank you to Conway Regional Health System for the sponsorship. Without you, we don't get to put these games on the air. Again, this reminder, next week at home, come out and watch the Cats. In 2 weeks, it's a trip to North Little Rock, so it's not too far, but if you can't make it, we will have that broadcast live for you with Wampus Cats to go. Great night in Bentonville. Enjoy it, Wampus Cat Nation. Final score 35-16. We'll see you next week at John McConnell Stadium on Conway Corp Channel 5.